Hello and welcome to the Fuel Report. I'm Alex Allen and I'm joined by CJ Goder and Kieran Quick. How are you guys tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a bit of a dreary day outside, and I've heard we're actually in for a good few of those in a row. But you know what? Later next week, we're apparently going to get some much warmer weather once again. And if I don't see snow, it's not going to be the worst. But you know what? Busy Saturday, end of the semester coming around. So you know what? There's been a consistent answer. I'm mid, decent. How about you, Nightflash?
I'm living the dream. I had a nice, relaxing day today. My dad's coming down tomorrow. Did a bit of cleaning, ate some food. I don't normally eat this early, so that's a bit of a surprise. Had some ramen and a grilled cheese. Yeah, no, today was a good day. Today was a good day.
I always feel like it's kind of that mixed feeling in between spring. Like some people are always like feeling a little bit more perked up, all happy, good things are kind of transitioning into. And then sometimes like some people are just like, you know what? I'm just going with the flow. I'm just kind of getting ready for summer to come around, getting that hot weather coming around. I don't know. I'm definitely the type of people that I don't like the hot weather. I like the snow actually. So
Me personally, it's easier to warm up, when you're cold. So I like warming up more. But just for me, it's like I come out of that winter and I hit the spring, and when the sun comes out for me, it's like I'm alive again.
Well, and you know what, CJ, you've got it nice because your hobby fishing, you can do that warm or cold. For me, like golf, hitting the sim is not the same as hitting like the actual links. So that's why I enjoy the warm weather. And my birthday is mid July. That's another bonus for me. So yeah, I'm definitely one of those people where I enjoy the warm weather. Don't get me wrong. In 35-degree heat, which we've had in the past, I am definitely complaining, but I'm not complaining nearly as much as when it's like minus what was our lowest this season, minus like 26 or something.
I think so. Yeah. But come on, Kieran, you don't want to do some winter golf?
No.
No?
No.
Start a new sport?
What?
Disc golf in the winter sounds like it could be fun. I'm going to throw that out there.
No, disc golf I can get on board with. Actual golf, looking for a white ball in snow does not sound like a good time for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that is fair. I mean, we got to bring it up, though. This is going to be the final episode of the semester. But you know what? We're going to spin it up a little bit. We're going to have 2 interviews for this final episode. It's going to be quite unique. You know what? We got Radish and Boyc going to be coming up pretty soon for those interviews. What you guys think about those interviews?
CJ, go ahead.
You know what? Nightflash, I'll let you lead off. You give us that Boyc perspective, and I'll give the Radish interview perspective.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this like flat out right now. The Boyc interview is probably the funniest interview I've ever done. I don't think I've ever laughed consistently that long, and like tried to keep myself from laughing and sort of cackling on the mic. And you know what? It's a long one. Like that is a long interview. So definitely stay tuned for that. I think the interview well, I know it's our longest interview yet. I think it's just about pushing an hour. So it's going to be a nice long interview. And then I wasn't there for the Radish one. So CJ, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I was going to say for that Boyc interview, a little wink into the future there. You might want to grab some snacks, be prepped and ready for that long haul of an interview. And you know what? After your response, I've thought about it. I'm not going to say a thing about the Radish interview. Alex and me had a great time sitting down with Veronica, a.k.a. Radish. And you know what? We're just going to let you guys dive on into that one when we get there and experience it for yourselves, because that was definitely one of the most fun and interesting interviews I've gotten to do, and there's going to be no spoilers coming from me on that one.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything else away from that. That was, I think just for me, like laughing about it, I just feel like I'm spoiling things already. But you know what? All right. Changing things up, though. Unfortunately, we will only have top 5 plays for this episode. But CJ, how is it looking, though?
It's looking, that's a tough one for me to answer. They're good plays. I just, I feel like I wish it would have been a top 10 of great plays. and another week of R6 to fuel some even more plays going forward. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So all in all, I wouldn't say it's a bad week of clips, but it's only a top 5, not a top 10. So it sort of speaks to the amount of clips we had to work with there. And ultimately, it's just sad end to the season, if you ask me. So the clips they're missing a bit of the luster we saw, for example, with like some of those CS:GO clips down the stretch. Just having that playoff gleam additionally onto them made them absolutely just that next level for me. Whereas these ones, they're great clips, but it's they're clips birthed out of survival more than success, one may say.
Okay. I mean, you know what? I think there was still some jam-packed action that was kind of going on, though. From looking at that past week, though, we're sort of putting a bit of a tie, bowing that tie around for fuel season. But I mean, for those few remaining games, R6, Kieran, let's break it down here.
I don't want to talk about this, dude. So, as I'm sure everybody watching the podcast knows, R6 went undefeated in the regular season. And the regular season ended like almost 4 weeks ago now, I think. And so I think we had a week or two off in between regular season and playoffs, which is already a long time to go without, any competitive play. And competitive in the sense that like it's a 5 stack versus a 5 stack, making comms with strats, breaking down, and because playing rank play really isn't the same. So it's unfortunate. We got a first round quarterfinals, a forfeit win from NEC Esports. So that is just another week with no real competition. You know what I mean? They can't, they don't get to really play against what they're going to be playing against in teams with comms and whatever. And yeah, we just we fell short against Arcadia. Map 1 was a close one. I don't think it ended up going to OT. I think Fanshawe took it in regular time. Map 2, same thing, but for the opposite side, Arcadia. I think both games went 7-5. And then map 3 loaded up, and everybody was expecting a close game. Everybody was like, "Oh, these two teams they're battling right now." And you know what? I love the R6 guys. Big fan of the R6 guys. But
do you think that was battling though?
No, not map 3, not map 3. That's what I'm saying. Map 1 and map 2 were battles. Map 3 was just an absolute slaughter. Fanshawe got 7-0'd. They didn't look like the team that we're used to seeing, and I'm sure that having an FF win the week before has something to do with it. You don't have, CJ always talks about adversity, but like even past that, not playing in the quarterfinals, just sort of makes it seem like you're in the quarterfinals when you're in semis, okay, like we're the number 1 seed, we're going against the last seed. No, you're going against the number 5 seed who has been putting work in and grinding and scrimming and, just like doing everything they can to sort of get a leg up on you. And kudos to Arcadia for putting in the work and getting better, because as I'm sure most of our viewers know, Fuel don't scrim. They don't scrim. They don't really practice. They come up with strats and they do some research on their opponents, but they don't get any actual practice in outside of ranked. And we all three of us know, and we talk about it so often on this podcast, that playing ranked and doing well in ranked does not transfer over. It doesn't always transfer over to playing at a competitive level, or in a league, in a 5v5 sort of. You have a team. You don't have 4 randoms.
Kieran, you're right. I don't care. It's just not the same. It is just not the same. And I've heard so many teams that just like talk about it. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll just go and like play some ranked." It's like, no, like you guys need to go and practice together. That's where it's gonna happen. That, like, if you think it for any sort of even just normal sport out there, they got to practice.
Well, yeah, and go ahead, CJ. I've been
No
talking for a
worries.
while.
No worries. I was just going to say, it's not like the rank play doesn't help with an aspect of your gameplay, but that's just more, it's going to refine your gun skill, your reaction time. But when you get to the comp scene, the big difference outside of rank play is it's just the level of structure, the level of research, the level of preparation. And quite frankly, that sort of thing, you could call it a body of work. And as a team, when you come in and week out and you're used to that level of preparation, and you're ready to go and you're dialed in and you know what I mean? And you have that routine, it just makes a big difference. And when you look at a team like Arcadia, they're a 5th seed, I believe you said. Actually, we can check that for sure because we have the final playoff graphics heading into the next week. And the thing about Arcadia is that's a middle of the pack team. These guys, 5th seed, like you said there, Kieran. Middle of the pack team. And you know what? I called that Nova Nighthawks win on the podcast last week as well. I had a feeling they were going to turn up, but, they had to fight this year. They had to make that progress. And I'm just going to remind everybody, I do believe, and Kieran, correct me if I'm wrong, Arcadia did beat the Fuel in the preseason, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And you know what? Like, I think everyone on production and anybody who has their toe in R6 knew that Arcadia was going to be a battle. Like, sure, they're the number 5 seed, but they're still a good team. Like, you can't just sort of take them for granted. They beat you in the regular season. They beat you before in previous seasons. You guys need to lock in. And even in our regular season match, we went overtime, and we won both overtime rounds in both games. But Arcadia being able to push a flawless team, a 9-0 team, to double overtime back to back, that, as a member of the Fuel team, you've got to sort of realize, like, yo, these guys aren't a joke. Like, we're not going to roll them like the rest of the people. And you know what? Like, if I'm a big fan of the R6 team, there's a lot of great people on there. There's a lot of extremely talented players in there, but bottom line is, if you want to compete, you have to put the work in. And that's, and by put the work in, I mean, you have to find team scrims, or, let's say your team doesn't want to scrim, you go scrim with another team who needs a sub, or, you scrim, you just look and you look and you look. Cause like we said, it's the structure, it's the planning, it's the preparation, that, like, Fanshawe knew that Arcadia was putting work in. We have friends and at other schools that were scrimming Arcadia, and they were letting Fanshawe know, yo, they're scrimming hard. And
so, Kieran,
yeah,
I'm just making sure of this. Like, do quote me if I am wrong on this. Like, you can make substitutes in R6.
Yes.
So, do you think that could have actually, like, tip the tables back into Fuel's advantage if they maybe in that third game brought Kenny in?
That is a loaded question. You know what? And hindsight is 2020, right? Like, I can sit here now and say, yeah, I think Kenny would have been the right choice in that last game. But, like, realistically, right? Who in your Mins and CJ who don't cast? I know Mins, you produce R6, but in your opinion, who are we switching out for Kenny?
Ooh.
To that, I'm going to answer that with a completely separate statement. For me, I don't think it mattered who was on the roster. You know what I mean? When it rains, it pours, and you spoke to adversity earlier. They had that quarterfinal FF, which, in one light, you could say it's a positive, but that's just another week where, like you said, they missed out on the playing time. But it's a perfect storm of adversity. And I preached it for multiple weeks leading up to it. It's just, these guys have had tough weeks, but they haven't had to deal with that perfect storm of adversity where they've had to overcome it. And you know what? They've proven it. The record in the regular season proved the capability of this team. The capability, the gun skill, their ability as a team, that is absolutely not in question here. And if all systems would go, this is easily a final squad. So when you look at it like that, and that's just my whole perspective on the scenario, to me, this is a team that easily championship caliber team. Easily, without a question. The proof is in the pudding throughout the regular season. So when you're unable to cross the finish line, you got to start asking questions outside of, tactics in the game or gun skill or little nitty gritty. For me, it's when you have to step back and start asking those bigger questions. So ultimately for me, I don't think any amount of roster switch around, change, substitution, I don't think pulling anybody for Kenny would have made a difference. That's not a detriment to my opinion on Kenny as a player. He's a super sub. Great player, but it's just for Kenny as well to play at his best. He needs the whole team to be all systems go. Persia likes to play that anchor role, sit down on point. If he's finding success, Brendo's finding success roaming as well. It just allows Kenny to play better. And I just feel like if the whole team isn't feeling at their prime, at their peak, it's the substitute just for a variety of reasons for me just wouldn't have gotten it done.
I mean,
go ahead.
It is an interesting sort of take because I don't know. Yeah, the substitution may or may not have benefited, but you could see in that third round, like they were getting tired out there. It was kind of a long game, and I don't think they've ever played sort of a long match like that in a little while. So it could have maybe actually benefited their side, maybe brought some energy to the team, but I don't know. It could have. It's kind of like a mix of like both sides from it. It could have helped. It might have not helped.
So I'm gonna sort of break down why I asked that question, right? So a lot of people's instant reactions when I would ask that question, right, would be, oh well, let's take out whoever has the lowest KD on the season or whoever whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you have okay, maybe here's a better question. In your opinion, who is the superstar this season of R6?
Brendo.
Okay.
That's me.
I feel like most likely that is the universally correct moment, but I will counter with this. Hottest player, like best player on R6 Fuel when it's all systems go. I don't know, when Kenny's feeling himself and he goes on that burner, I feel like he can give anybody a run. But for that week in and week out consistency, definitely probably Brendo.
So I'm going to tell you right now, Brendo is an amazing talent. He's a disgusting player, but that was not the MVP this season, hands down. It was Mason. He had a 2.8 on the season, which in R6 that's insane, right?
That is, holy cow.
Yeah. But so logically, right? He should be the last person to think of subbing out. He's got a 2.8 on the season. The kid's been frying. Let the kid fry, right? But on the last map where we got 7-0'd, Mason couldn't find a kill. So logically, right, we go for the sub, but who are we subbing out? We're like, it doesn't matter who we pick, right? We're not picking Mason in a million years because the guy's been unkillable. He pops 2, 3, 4 kills around. But in reality, right, if you can't find a kill in the last game in 7 rounds, then like in hindsight, Mason probably should have been subbed out. But nobody is going to think at that time that, oh, we should sub Mason out for Kenny because Mason has been killing it all season. So it's just like it's a very tough look, and I'm sure Mason could have been tired. I also know that there were both the second game and the third game they targeted banned Mason's main and Oryx, so that could have played a factor into it.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that could play into why he had a bad performance. But at the end of the day, like, that's just what it is. It's a bad performance. Unfortunately, it came in the do or die time, right? Like, have a bad performance game 2, reset for game 3, you're fine, right? But a bad performance in game 3 is possibly the most detrimental thing that can happen to you, and unfortunately that's just what happened. And it's not I'm not blaming Mason by any means for their loss. You know, they're overall on the Fuel side, there wasn't a lot of kills going around. You know, I think Brendo had 2. I think Perza had 3.
Mhm.
Tucker had 1, and then I think Make It actually was the top frag that game with 4 or something like that. So like
I think so.
not a lot of kills going around the board. So obviously like nobody was really playing to their full potential. But you know, if we're gonna say the detriment, right, or the anchor for the team would have been Mason in that game, but nobody expected that out of him. And everybody has a bad game once in a while. I have a bad game. Mintz has a bad game. CJ has a bad game. Apollo
Mhm.
has a bad game. Everyone has a bad game once in a while, and you can't predict that. You can't like you can say like, oh, you know, I've been on fire for the last 6 hours. Like I've got a bad game coming. Sure, you can say that, but you're never going to know when it is. So it's unfortunate that when Mason fell, the other 4 couldn't sort of step up and take the reins. But it is what it is. You know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles.
Well, I mean, the other thing you can't really predict as well, though, was we got told about this afterwards from the third round there that Make It, there was no comms coming from him.
Yeah,
So
and
so
and yeah,
like yeah, like you would think then like you would kind of like maybe think, oh, like well then they should have subbed Make It then right away to put Kenny in. So there could have been some comms going on, but like would that have actually really changed things? Like you can't predict that he would have not had comms.
yeah, and I've actually talked to Make It since. I hang out in their Discord fairly regularly. I've actually been playing a lot of R6 lately.
Hmm.
Um, and I talked to him, and he didn't know he was muted. The team didn't know he was muted. They called a timeout, and Make It was saying, "Oh, we should do this, we should do that." Yeah, 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 that sounds good. No, 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 I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh
And nobody
no.
heard him. And he also said that in that last game, he probably he said or he made the most callouts he's ever made in a collegiate game. So it's not like it wasn't a tilt factor whatsoever of him not calming. He just accidentally muted his mic and nobody noticed. And that's like it's once again one of those unfortunate things where like, you know, accidents happen, but could it have costed them the series? Yeah, for sure. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like an unlucky call in the NHL. You get ejected for, 3 games, 4 games. That can cost your team the series, right? Or you get a late penalty, the other team scores, goes up 1, that can cost your team the game, right? Like it's unfortunate things that like do we have control of them? Yes, but at the same time, you can't predict when they're going to happen, right? Like you could think you just had the cleanest check on someone in hockey, and you get called for a head check or interference or charging or whatever, right? So there's so many sort of things that can sort of play into this. So overall, it's super unfortunate that they lost. I think that there was definitely really good potential for this team. I think if they had got past Arcadia, they could have taken the whole thing. Um, but it just
You know
sort of
what?
the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Love the favorite quote. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But you know what? I think it maybe just really sort of humbled them a little bit
Yeah,
and kind of coming for next semester, they're gonna be like, hey, let's clean the slate off. Let's recognize that maybe we should put some practices in there, maybe. Just
and
maybe.
you know what? That's a really great point. Um, I think another a very positive thing, right? Because they won last semester, they have enough points to go to nationals. So
Oh.
they now like over the summer, I think it's sometime in May or June. There's nationals happening, so they now have the opportunity to, yeah. While sure they're going to be taking time off from their regular season, now they can go scrim teams in champions or in legends division and try and
Mhm.
get better for nationals, which I think is something super duper awesome. Because would it be awesome to win another NECC playoffs? Yeah, it would. But realistically, what is going to look better on like the Fuel's resume, all of their resumes, than, oh yeah, I won NECC, I won an NECC championship, and then doubled down and was like, oh, this wasn't a fluke. We then went and won nationals and sort of spit in Arcadia's face and say, yeah, you guys beat us. That's a fluke. We just won nationals and won like, however much. I think they're competing for like $5,000 or something. So like
$5,000.
yeah, something like that. It's not like
Oh my.
it's not a whole lot of money, but then again, it's also it's a lower down league, right? It's NECC.
I mean, to students that are trying to still pay off some tuitions,
Exactly.
it's a good amount of money.
I've got student debt. Hey, I casted you guys. If you guys win, hit me with some pay. Yeah, no. I think that overall it's a negative thing, but I think there's so many positive things that can come out of this loss. But yeah, that's my little rant about R6.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to just see how they actually do over in the national side. It'll be exciting to see. Maybe this, definitely did humble them to kind of pull up their socks and be like, hey, let's do something with this. Let's go. Let's still like prove our point that we are a great Fuel R6 team. But we do have another Apex tournament that just sort of dabbled around. Nightflash, CJ.
Yeah.
CJ was playing it this time.
CJ was playing it.
He was playing on it this time.
CJ was playing it. I was casting it. You were observing. So this time we actually have 3 people who are involved, which is awesome. But yeah, overall, like it was, the tournament. I think this tournament went way better than the last one. I wasn't really involved with the last one, but I heard a bunch of sort of drama with the last one. So I think this one ended up turning out way better. Unfortunately, 2 of the teams that had entered didn't get to play because I don't know if they forgot what day it was or if they made plans afterwards, blah, 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 whatever. So 2 of them didn't get to play, but we still had a pretty good turnout. And, dude, talk about another banger. Like, the last Apex tourney that we hosted was an absolute bang out. This one, I would say it was even more of an intense game because, CJ always talks about how, in the first event, there was one team who essentially like had the tournament in their hands and then got it stripped away. Right. I think the Apex GCs this tournament, I think they got robbed, honestly, because they won what?
Yeah.
3 out of the Hold on, CJ's giving me a weird look. CJ, pipe up.
Apollo, can you pull up the standings for us of that Apex tournament? Okay, let's take a look at this here, fellas. If you take a quick look here, you'll see the henchmen are coming in at 11 points above Apex GC. And you know what? As a member of Watson's Bathwater, who is just 1 point out of 3rd place, just 1 point, we were right there. I can assure you, you could see the henchmen coming. They were rolling over teams, and their kill total was in just a completely different realm. So you know what? Apex GCs were probably playing better comp Apex, good game planning, positioning, finding those important kills at important times. But the henchmen were just a steamroller, in my opinion.
I don't know. I didn't see Watson's Bathwater out there at all.
Yeah, I swear you guys weren't even on the map. No map presence whatsoever.
Yeah, where were you?
You know what? That's some funny no map presence to be 1 point out of 3rd. You know what? We are right there on the precipice of a top 3. So you know what? I feel like we were all over the place. We actually, I think we came 3rd or 4th frag in game 2 there. Like, we were getting some kills. You know what? You didn't see us because we were quick and we were lethal. We were getting in, we were getting out, we were cleaning up teams at the speed of light, and we were out of there. So you just must have missed us there. That's that lightning execution of Watson's Bathwater.
I think he put it in best. They were getting in and they were getting out in the sense that they were getting knocked and out. Sorry, back to the lobby, bud. Because the only time I saw your team in final circle was the last game where you sat behind a wall the whole game.
You know what? That was some tactical. That was some tactical decision making. And you know what? On the Val call, we were going on top of that wall. I get up, my teammates suck. Gets up, and then our third teammate fell behind the wall. So we're like, okay, you know what? Well, I'll hop down with them. I'll send them back up later. And then lo and just a pack of wild henchmen roll by us, and just I blinked and we were dead. So our one teammate stayed up on the wall, got us some better placement. But I'll have y'all know, we had a 5th place finish in game 2. We finished 4th in points that game, and that was final circle, I believe. It may have been second last, but you know, we had our moment. Quick and lethal here, fellas. Quick and lethal.
In and out.
Okay, I gotta I was holding this. I haven't told CJ about this because I mean I was observing for Apex. So the Apex sort of command keys are so different because you go onto different teams. And I thought then all of a sudden if you press 1, 2, 3, it'll change to different players, but it didn't. The 1, 2, and 3 kept going to CJ's team because they're 1, 2, and 3. So I could have actually camped you guys a lot more, but
you know what? When there's no action, what's the point of watching?
Yeah.
Bro, I swear to God, I swear our team came 3rd, 4th highest in kills, and you here watching Ramen's team who came 4 places after us. I think we were cooking up in the kitchen. And you know what? Maybe Fuel Nation just wasn't ready to see what type of work we are putting in the Watson's Bathwater Club.
I think that's cap. But anyways, yeah, Henchman ran away. Holy smokes, man. What a last game. 16 KP. 16.
That was nuts.
And
my squad were 3 of those 16.
Yes, you were. It was 2 followed by a slow third to finally come out of their hidey hole. But yeah, no, it was an absolute banger. You know, Apex GC. We played 3 or 4 games. I think
4.
We played 4, right?
Yeah.
So Apex GC's won 2 of the 4, 3 of the 4, 2 of the 4. Yeah, I think it was 2.
I just remember 20 dinner rolls winning.
20 dinner rolls won. I think the Henchman won the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Apex GC's won the other 2.
I think so. I think you're right on that.
So 2 wins, but just the KP wasn't there for Apex GCs. They were playing very, if we were solely going off placement, they would have blown everyone out of the water. But you can't solely go off placement in battle royale tournaments. Well, I mean you can, but it's not really the right thing to do because you can have people who rat. There's no sort of reward for being the aggressor and going out and getting kills. So that's how we sort of broke it down. And the henchman, oh my dude, I don't think I've ever seen so many shots just get so many people just get absolutely smoked in a quick succession in Apex. It was team wipe after team wipe after team wipe, and they were just on another plane, on another level.
You know what?
Oh, sorry. It was on the 3rd map. I think it was the third map. What team was that again? That they were out in out of the ring for the longest time, and they were having to trace their way all the way back into the ring, and they made it back. And then unfortunately, they were one of the last final 4, but ended out. Which one was it?
That was either Fufu's or Ramen's team.
I think it was Fufu. I think you were right on Fufu.
I think, but no, another absolutely hysterical moment.
Yeah.
In the Apex tournament was the PR, it was the PR team originally Twins +1. The 3rd game, they didn't move. They sat on a tree. Sat on a tree stump for 90% of the game. Yeah, they were just chilling behind some roots because somebody had been talking shit that they weren't getting kills, and they're like, "Watch, we're not going to shoot our guns once this game, and we'll get more points than you." And that's exactly what they did. They sat on this route, and they placed top 4. It was insane. But yeah, no. Big shout out to everyone who came out to the event. Big shout out to CJ. CJ, actually, you know what? While we're on the topic, how was the event run from your perspective? Like, was it fun? Did you have a good time? Was it stressful? I know you couldn't find out how to get into the lobby for like 20 minutes, but other than that, how was it?
Honestly, I think it was pretty well run in general. Like the only difference I would like to see going forward is maybe, blast sort of information on the day and while the tournament is running in the announcement section and just delete it after. To sort of guarantee everyone's added. It's just a guaranteed spot where you can see it. But just as a sense of just getting set up, loading in, registering, and playing games round in and round out, super easy, super smooth. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. Got a lot of good little chit chats going in the chat in between games. And yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. We'll most certainly be doing it again.
Yeah. Mins, what about you? You were observing. I was casting. I'll give my opinion last. You can fire us up here.
Honestly, it was my first time ever observing, and you know what? The whole command keys were like very different because you had to like transition over to like team to team, and I was always like trying to wrap my head around like, okay, I need to follow like some sort of gameplay. How am I going to follow that? Because there's so many different teams playing, and like all of a sudden I found this one like key command that like whenever like enemy like whenever team I was on, I can press like I and it would bring me over to the closest enemy team to them. And even if the enemy team was shooting at them, I could press that and it would swap over to them shooting. So I was like, okay, like there's some nice like shortcuts to actually getting some gameplay here, and it was fun actually getting to learn like a whole different side for such like a like battle royale. Like that was my first time kind of having to figure out how to observe all that.
Yeah, and for me, I've never casted a battle royale, and I gotta say it's weird. It's so chaotic, and seeing like how many teams do we have? We had 11 different colors through walls of different teams is possibly the most confusing thing I've ever had to sort of wrap my brain around because you've got Watson's bathwater who's blue, and then you've got 20 dinner rolls who's darker blue, and then you've got then you have pink, purple, like everything in between, and you're trying to decipher like, okay, team 7, right? Like team vibing homies, they're purple, but then like, and let's say Apex GC's, they're royal blue. And like you're looking at it on a TV. So like the purple can be confused for the royal blue sometimes. Then you've got the pink coming in. So it was very confusing for me, but it was also probably one of the most fun events that I've had the pleasure of being on. It's always fun when there's sort of like nothing on the line other than bragging rights,
Yeah.
because then like nobody's getting too choked about it. Nobody's gonna be super duper upset after the game. Everybody's just there having fun. And you know what? That's exactly what me and my co-caster Melon were having. We were having a hoot. Um, so big shout
Yeah.
out to everybody that came out. Mins, you got any closing? Mins or CJ got any closing thoughts on the Apex tournament?
I mean, I got just to see sort of a bit of the background with you there, Karen, and you know what I do think if you had a whiteboard marker, that would have probably helped you that night
Oh,
to
big
sort of
time.
write down all of the teams, the numbers, figured it all out.
Yeah, big time. No, we were desperately searching for a whiteboard marker before the stream started. There was none in the room, nowhere to be found. So we ended up just going in with no info other than our little phone propped up. But yeah,
Mhm.
no, it was all in all, it was a good time, and I'm sure, like CJ said, he had a hoot. I hope everybody had a hoot. Vince, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to you guys, honestly. Like, hats off for you guys to sort of just keep pushing through. And you guys, you know what, close to like, I mean, I think it was like around map 4 or something. You guys did phenomenal. Like, for talking about each team, you're keeping on who was who. I mean, it's a lot of players to keep on to. But we are going to move into now the Radish interview. That's quite a unique one there, ACJ.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hop on to over that one over yonder.
I'm watching it too. Let's go.
Episode of the Fuel Report. I'm CJ, joined by Veronica, also known as TheOddRadish, and Mr. Mins, Alex Allen, is back. He's returned from Belgium, gracing us with his masterful presence here again. Excited to have you back, buddy. You know what's funny? I'm going to say that 2 weeks in a row as well now.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just always going to have to be telling people about that I'm back.
That's okay. You know what?
I mean, it's been a week though, so like.
And now it's going to be mentioned twice on the Fuel Report because I forgot.
Well, we're just still happy that you're back. We're just so happy.
So happy.
So happy.
But don't expect us to be this happy next week.
Okay. Everyone's like, okay, screw you, you're dirt again. Get back to work.
Now, you see, before this segment, we had a lot more pre-talk because me and Alex don't actually know Veronica, also known as TheOddRadish, all that well. You know, me and Alex works in production. I work in casting, and Veronica works in content creation and on the desk. Now, how'd you even find out about that role in the first place?
So I'm in the video game design program with Rachel, also known as Angel Grime, and also in that program is Tachi, also known as Manuel. And Angel reached out to me and Tachi, Manuel, whatever, to apply. She was like, "Come on, guys, you gotta apply. It's super cool." She like advertised it so well to us, and we're like, "Okay, we have to apply to this cool organization." Sure thing. And so then we applied. We both got the interview. Luckily, because we're skilled, we actually we're actually we're just well skilled. And even at the interview, it was Tyler and Rachel sitting there and just interviewing us. It was good for me because then I didn't feel as stressed, having a friend in the interview. I was like, whew. But yeah, that's how I heard about this job, and then I got it.
Imagine Angel's like, Veronica, like, you have to come and apply for this job. Sits in on your interview like, oh, that was so much less stressful than it had to be. Gets denied.
Yeah,
Gets denied.
I probably would have cried.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so.
I was hoping
sad.
my last job. Hopefully, no one from my last job is watching. Love you guys, but I was like, please. It was retail, and working retail it's a thing of, if you've never worked retail, I believe everyone should work a fast food retail job just so you can get that customer service.
Suffer?
Yeah, well, so we can all suffer as a society. But then to not mistreat the people who work those jobs. Anyway, so I was kind of hoping to leave that, and then I got to leave it. So that was really nice. And then everyone was like, "Come back and say hi to us." And I was like, "For sure." And I have barely gone back. I sometimes feel really bad. It's something that keeps me up at night, but.
You got to do what you got to do. Yeah. When the grass is greener, you just
you bounce.
You got to embrace
Hop
it.
the fence.
You know what I mean? Now, you got some desk shifts. I have my first desk shift on Thursday, and I'd say come down and see me.
Last Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Last Thursday, when you guys see this, I'm going to have my first desk shift. What's that experience like?
It's really just being an observer, especially when the teams play. You are just sitting there and you watch the way that all the players interact, and you kind of see how all the teams work. And there's kind of patterns that you notice. And then when it's open play, it's just easy stuff. You're just, doing your own thing.
Are people chatty in the room? Do you have people just sort of?
There is kind of regulars who come in who know your name. They will ask for your name, and then they'll be like, "Your name is Veronica," and I'm like, "Yep." And then they'll come in the next time and be like, "Hi, Veronica," and I always feel like I feel special. I'm like, "Oh, you know my name? Oh my god!" And so I guess I'm the regular because I work the same desk shift every Monday. If you come in Monday 3 to 10, you see me. Or if you come in the weekends, the weekend crowd is completely different from morning crowd. Morning crowd is just chill, sleepy gamers, and then they all are always very they come in wow, there's no one in here, and they say that every week. Every week the same guy comes in and he go, "Wow, it's so empty in here." I'm like, "Yeah, it has always been so empty in here." But I love him. Shout out to all my regulars. They make me feel special, and it's great. Yeah.
One thing I want to pick about though, because I've had some desk shifts too, when a student comes over and hands you the card, right after that, how do you feel when you're trying to look to find the whole spot to when they're saying, "Yeah, can you put me on to number 8?"
We have a desk procedures document, and then we have the tracking document. I always have the desk procedures document open because it's got the seating chart. I do not have the seating things memorized. I'm looking, I'm okay, counting it. I'm 1, 2. Even on our whiteboard, we have all the things drawn out, and even at the desk that the person sits at, I wrote "you are here," just so no one gets confused, specifically me. But yeah, so I keep it very
Yeah, you're talking about not getting confused. I'm sitting here with my first desk shift last Thursday, and procedures, seating charts.
Good luck, buddy.
Procedures, and it's a whole list. You can read it. It's like, don't, like, you know, keep it clean. Like, give people their headphones. Like, you know, wipe the headphones down.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what I'm getting myself into here.
You'll be fine.
Well, coming into the summer, you know, the room's going to remain open, and you said
Not weekends, maybe.
You know, hours unconfirmed at this point.
Yes, actually.
Hours
yeah.
unconfirmed
Check that
at this
later.
point.
Or maybe they are confirmed at this point.
We don't
Check
know.
the Discord.
Yeah, we don't
don't
know if
know.
they're confirmed. Who knows? We'll find out. You'll find out. Everybody will find out.
Together.
Stay tuned on the Discord for that. But it's a role you're looking to sort of continue in. So you enjoy this esports stuff? Because it's not something you were looking for before.
Yeah, esports, I was definitely brand new to the esports thing, but like what I do there is I create like graphics, so if there's like tournaments and anyone needs a graphic, I'll make that. I do the schedule and scores post. If there's like anything that needs to be made within like my shift, I will do it. I love like just creating. It's like fun, it's different. And I've learned so much over the past like 8 months this year.
And I mean, like, you do all of these desk shifts, and you don't do really anything for casting or even other production
I've
sort
never
of
been
work.
into the casting room or the production room.
No interest in giving it a go?
And then,
Well, I just don't think I have enough like knowledge about the games to start casting. I'd love to just stand there. I used to do broadcasting at my high school. If you go on a deep dive and stalk me and find out which high school I went to and our like broadcasting show that we did, you can find like clips of me like being on broadcasting, be like, "Good morning, high school name," and then I almost doxed myself, but yeah, and I had fun, like, just, like, even, like, being, I don't know how casting you guys have it. Do you have, like, I know you have Observer and, like, Switcher, but, like, I always had fun being, like, director, the walkie-talkie. I don't think we have walkie-talkies here, but...
No, we got Apollo and his typing speed.
I guess just how is it like to compare from like you're doing video game design and then you don't really do much on like the other sort of like content side. Just how do you kind of look at that as like hand on hand to help each other?
Like, how does it go together? It's like, it's more so for like, you know, the title kind of like, oh, I work for an esports team, so which is connected to video game. But like, honestly, like content making and stuff like that, it's more of like, not a hobby, but like it tones like other skills. So like I work a lot like for like, content in Photoshop or like After Effects if I'm making like TikToks for people or like Premiere Pro and stuff like that. So just honing, I'm just sharpening or like keeping my like skills in the Adobe Creative Suite or like other stuff like that, just like honed in case I ever need them. Because this digital media goes like kind of hand in hand with like video game design. We technically use Photoshop for like drawing and stuff like that, but like it just keeps the skill like alive. So that's why I like it here. That's why I do it.
So what actually sort of drove that to actually get yourself to go into
video game design? Okay, so my story begins back in the day when I discovered, my friend showed me The Sims 4, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. I can just like dress people up and build houses for them and make a story for them. That is so fun. Like I love just like creating. So to me, like having so much different creation aspects was crazy. And in the Sims community, there's this thing called like CC, which is custom content. So like it's just like mods, but you can just like, people would post on Tumblr. I was a Tumblr user. I'm proud Tumblr user.
A proud Tumblr.
Proud Tumblr. If you want to stalk me, I'm just kidding. Find my old Tumblr account. Don't, please. And like, what would the people on there would post, like, they'd be like, hey, I made this like shirt for your Sims, like download it, and then whatever. And that first of all taught me internet safety. I learned how to download files and like, you know, sketchy websites. Don't click on those enticing ads. You know, anyway. And so from then I was like, this is so cool. I want to make this myself. I want to make my Sims a t-shirt. I want to make him a plant. And I was like, so I found out you need to use this thing called Blender. And I was like, okay, a Blender. Anyway, so I got the application, which is it's a 3D software. It's free. It's like super good. Honestly, it's basically like, it's becoming it's not industry standard 3ds Maxes, but it's like just it's really close. Good. It's really good. And the fact that it's free, like a lot of indie studios, like gaming studios will use it because it's free. Mm-hmm. And even in the past couple years, it has grown so much. Anyway, so I opened this thing up and I'm like, okay, and I look at it and it was confusing to like, this was in grade 8, I want to say grade 7 actually. I opened up Blender and I was like, whoa. This is a lot. I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. And so I closed that down and I did not open it, which I think was good in the long run. Sure, if I like started then, I'd be crazy at modeling and sculpting stuff, but I think I would have learned it wrong, so I wouldn't have the right like pipeline to do things kind of, and modeling and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I like kind of held back, did, because now I'm still doing it now, and so it's cool to see that like if I went back in time and told like younger me, be like, hey, you actually did end up learning how to do this, she'd be happy. But yeah, so that was a thing, and then also I got into video game design because I was like, in high school I did a lot of fine arts, and one of the things we did there was like animation, 2D animation, the one where you draw out thing by thing, frame by frame. It's the most like tedious thing ever. It's so annoying. No offense to all the 2D animators. You guys I'm like, major respect for you guys, but I don't have the patience for that. And I remember like thinking like, I wish I could like, I remember I did this animation of a fish doing its thing, and I remember being like, I wish the fish could like just turn, but like I hate perspective, like why can't the fish turn? Turns out all I needed was to like get a 3D application and model it out, because now I can just turn the fish without needing to like redraw the fish. And so like I remember when I was young, I was like, there's got to be a way to like, there's got to be something like where it's an actual thing. Like and then it's called 3ds Max, and it makes you sculpt things in it, so or you model things in it. So that was that. That's how I got into that. Started at Sims 4.
Yeah, 3ds Max is actually it's a fun like software to use. It reminded me very much of actually SolidWorks a little bit in ways, just because you had to figure out and etch the style, the design, the way that you were like wanting to make around for the direction.
It's so fun.
I mean, Sims though, you're playing that game a lot, and I mean, let's face it, the gaming community is so open, wide, and diverse.
Yeah.
What's kind of the feedback from you actually growing up playing Sims?
Like when I tell people I play Sims, what's the reaction?
Yeah.
Usually they call me a fake gamer, which sure, like, well, even like before I started this interview, I won't dox anyone, but somebody I said, yeah, I'm doing this interview, and they said, oh yeah, it's Sims gamer, and I was like, hey, like, put some respect on my name. But like, I get like the Sims is like joking and whatever, but at the same time, not all games are just like shooters and whatever. There's like RPG games. There's like so many different games, and that like Sims doesn't look like the regular game, but it's still like a fun one. It's still a video game, and it's like it's Sims 4. That means there was Sims, Sims 2, Sims 3 before that. So clearly there's like a variety for it, or like a need for it. People clearly wanted more, and they're still releasing like expansion packs and like just things for the game, like add-ons and whatever. There's still a big community. It used to be on Tumblr. It's always been on YouTube. Now it's on TikTok, as all things are on TikTok. But yeah, so I think like, it's still a game.
You know, we talk about sort of the different levels of games on this, this segment of the podcast a good bit, but it's just like, any game, I really like, it doesn't matter if you're playing Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A game's a game. It's an outlet, to decompress, hang out with people, community, build and whatnot. Like, I can say this with confidence. My girlfriend plays Sims as well. I had no idea Sims was still a massive community. Oh, it is a massive community. There's a ton of little plugins, mods, whatnot you can input to. So like it's got its niche.
There's fun challenges as well. There's the 100 baby challenge. There's the 100 like widow challenge. There's the like generational challenge. Like there's like fun challenges. People like are creative in it because you can just
doing any of those challenges.
That's next question actually. I think we should move on and
I think we want to know what challenges.
No, I'm not doing any challenges yet. Now.
Yeah.
I never did the 100 baby challenge because I was like, I started, but.
Hold up. You went over that real fast.
Okay, so the 100 baby challenge, you just have to get 100 babies within like as little generations as possible. And so I started that, but the babies are annoying, so I stopped that challenge because they would just always be crying in your house. And like, I think, not saying I'm not a mother. Shout out to all the mothers out there, but like, I cannot do that.
I have so many questions.
I did do the
does it have to be the same parents?
No, not the same parent. It's like the same woman giving birth, or like the same.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
What do you do?
100
babies out there.
Well, like the dangerous thing is like incest, because then your town is populated by your children, so like it's kind of dangerous. I don't want to give the Sims community a bad rep.
I was gonna say Sims Dark Side Edition. I didn't
Oh
know.
my god.
There's like okay, well, if we talk about life, and we can talk about death too. There's like the widow challenge, 100 widow challenge, where you like date, like you wed, you become like wife, or you know, a partner or whatever, and then you have to kill them, and you have to go through 100 of that. So you have to like
Become a serial killer.
No, you're a widow
Maker.
Widowmaker?
You are the
Widower?
widow.
Yeah, but if the widow kills
Whittler?
her spouse,
Well, it's not like they know.
oh wait, what?
There's no police in The Sims.
This whole Sims business sounds like GTA Unlocked a little bit.
Yeah.
So why is it GTA is a real game and Sims isn't? Hello?
Is that actually something you've heard? Because if anybody thinks
I
that
think-
is ridiculous.
This is wild.
Just because GTA has guns in it doesn't magically
There's like
transform
gun mods
it.
for Sims.
Do you use those?
No.
I thought Sims was like a rated E for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But like the mods go crazy.
My mind has been blown.
Now you know how I feel when like once a week people come on here and they start talking about titles and everybody's like, oh yeah, the blah blah blah, and I'm sitting there like, what's happening here? So like, I'm glad you've joined me over on the side.
Well,
of
I'm glad I
confusion.
can bring this perspective so that both of you are confused. You know, you aren't feeling left
No,
out.
it's
either
refreshing.
Of you.
It's
Yeah.
refreshing. Honestly, no hate for. Honestly, we've talked about this. Casual gaming is, and we talked about it in the Tyler interview. Casual gaming is just as important as competitive, if not more important, because there's only a small slice of the community that can play on the comp teams.
The comp community obviously gets more like attention because they get streams, they get like prize money, but like casual gaming, like that's the overall mass. The overall mass doesn't want to be streamed. They just want to go home, play their game. They don't really care about like, you know, this whole like glimmer and glam, you know, kind of thing. But
So what you're saying is next semester you're gonna have like a Veronica, a Radish content come play with me Sims.
oh my god, gladly. I will gladly like. Okay, again, if you find my Tumblr, I would.
Back to the Tumblr.
On Tumblr, people would post like stories. They'd be like, today, my wife, or not my wife. Today, like the I forget what they're called, but there's a certain name for like the sim that does all like the baby making or whatever. It's like today, like they'll usually just give them names. They'll be like, today, Angela gave birth to her 32nd child, and everyone is like reblogging and it's like, yes, go Angela. Sorry, clap, but. Yeah, it's just like, and I would also like post like, okay, because I am, like, all my Sims would be like fun colored. I would give them like, I'd make them like blue, purple, pink.
Fun colored.
They're called berry Sims. Like
Berry-
strawberry, yeah.
Like the Teletubbies almost.
Yeah. Except they're just fully that color.
Oh my god.
Fun fact, my my
There's a lot of
YouTube.
fun facts here.
Yeah, you know, you learn a lot. I love fun facts. But my YouTube profile picture for like whenever a science teacher's like, hey, you need to send in a YouTube link to like, you know, a video of you playing my project, because game design, I make games and I play them and I show it to my teachers. My profile picture for my YouTube that I use is a berry colored sim from like years ago. And every time, like, if I present and I have to pull up my YouTube to play the clips or whatever, I'm terrified that someone's gonna notice, like, the profile and be like, hey, what is that? And I'm gonna be like, let's just watch the clip. So it's a fear of mine. Anyone watching from class, please don't ever, like, look closely. Just watch the video. But, yeah.
Anybody watching from game design, make sure to go. Do you have any online classes? I'm sure they could get like a nice little screen capture.
Yeah, get a screenshot of
One
it.
day.
So if I take a red and a blue sim, berry sim, like a blueberry and a strawberry, do I get a grape sim?
I'd say, like, you would have to, like, go and it would be either red or blue, but you can go in and, like, change the skin color.
Okay.
You know, Sims is very open like that.
So do you actually like stream this on Twitch?
Okay, funny you bring up Twitch. Fun fact, I used to be a Twitch streamer. So, like, I've dabbled in Twitch streaming, and I didn't stream Sims because my computer would probably explode. Sims is a very heavy game, but no, I wasn't there. Like, I didn't stream Sims. I streamed Minecraft and then other things. for like for like my like some follower special, I streamed like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I played it on my iPad.
Oh, okay.
While it was like crazy, but
Because I was about to say, can you please specify other things?
like I was just like collage. I don't know.
Collage. Like, let's look at arts and crafts or something.
So I'm playing Minecraft for. I also would do like. I can't. I'm gonna get hated on. Just know I'm a woman of many talents and mysteries. So.
I don't know. You seem like a very entertaining Twitch streamer.
I like to keep people on their toes.
Like they're like watching. They're like, hold on. Where did Veronica go?
I'm a magician. I disappeared. I had a bunny cam as well, like running because I'm a pet
bunny cam.
So because you know how people have like dog cam or something like that. So I was like, I was like bunny cam.
Aw.
It was like I was using all the devices in my household. I was using my phone, like my iPad, computer. Like everyone was just a lot. There's a lot happening.
What's the bunny's name?
Popeye. He loves spinach.
No way.
Yeah, he's a big spinach guy. He also talks. What? Not?
No, hear me out here. My fat ass is like, Popeye's named after a chicken biscuit or something. No, you meant Popeye and the spinach. That's all.
Yeah, he's delicious.
The bunny?
Hold on.
Did I stutter?
You said he's delicious.
Yeah, did I stutter?
Did you eat the bunny?
No, okay, but he smells like butter, and I sometimes.
You ate the bunny? Okay.
She's like, Butter the Seventh? Butter the Seventh smells so nice. He is just as cute as Butter 6.
He smells like butter. Sometimes I'll come home and I'll just like smell him. It's like comforting.
Aw.
Okay, no hate for it.
I've heard of that actually. Like
My mom says he smells like a fur coat. So, that's very threatening. So.
So one day you might all of a sudden see your mom with a new fur coat.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Or like a hat.
Yeah. Is the bunny like still alive though? We gotta.
He's still with us.
Okay. Good.
I don't know why I looked. He's still alive. He's
still alive somewhere.
In my heart, he's alive. He's very alive. Yeah, he's been around since like forever. He's like I think 9 now, 8.
Damn. How
Aw.
long,
I got him in grade 7.
how long do bunnies live for?
Like 5, like 7. If you take good care of them, like 15.
God damn.
Can you get a bunny in Sims?
Yeah, I think they just released a pet expansion pack. I know you could get them in Sims 3, but yeah, I think they just released a pet. You can get cats and dogs and hamsters. You can get hamsters for sure. Not sure about bunnies.
Like hamster's like 2 pixels.
On his little wheel.
I need like Let's Play content next semester.
If the
need to see this.
if the public demands it, I will start a Sims Let's Play.
You know what, the fuel?
Every Sunday.
Public certainly did not demand a fuel report, but here we are right now. Anyway, so.
Here we go.
Here we
It'll be a
are.
special fuel report segment. At the end of it, it's just like Sims gameplay.
Seeing the 100 baby challenge go down.
And they're all multicolored, like, berry Sims.
Oh my gosh.
Rainbow.
But I mean, like, from you Twitch streaming, was that kind of where some of this energy came from when you're trying to join for Fuel?
Like energy. What kind of energy? Do you mean like personality energy, or like do you mean like excitement to just be on this team?
Yeah, and then like even just bringing passion to like actually grow Fuel as well.
I'd just say I'm a passionate person. I was born with a big fire in my heart, and I just stride into things and just fill things with like passion. Because I believe you should put passion into everything you do. Like, why not? You live once, just go big, go home.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. That's fair. You do only live once. I use that thought process frequently.
You ready for this one? Hashtag YOLO.
Oh, the big hashtag YOLO, the big one.
Hashtag YOLO, hashtag selfie, and hashtag.
Remember when that song was like such a big thing? Like, but first, let me take a selfie.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm referencing. I say we bring it back. Me and us 3 can bring it back. I'm just saying.
I have the memory of a bag of cinder blocks. So every time you mention something like that, you've like unlocked a core memory. Like that.
Harlem Shake.
Stop.
Whoa.
Stop. That's enough out of you.
Okay.
That's not out of you.
Zip.
That's actually crazy. We're getting old. That's the one thing, like well, you're coming back for you. If you're back next year, that'll be your 3rd tour of Fuel.
Yep.
The second you hit a third
run.
like, we go to college here. You know, there's only typically 1-year programs, 2-year programs. Well, just because we know it doesn't mean every viewer here is from Fanshawe.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The
Surprise!
second you get to a 3rd year, you're a veteran.
Yeah.
You've been around, you know what I mean? That's veteran behavior. And, like, you know, best way I can phrase this. Coming into year 2 for you, what would you like to do a little different? Like, what you know, Tyler likes to use the word activate. How can you be activated to do more next year?
I would like to see, like, broadcasting more. I want to be in the room, I think, more. I think it'd be kind of cool to just see what goes on there. Like I said, not on-screen casting, unless Sims gameplay or Minecraft gameplay. But I'd like to see, like, just, like, I also not observe. I cannot, again, I do not know Valorant or League enough or whatever, or COD. Sorry.
Observing? Okay, I did my first observing shift.
Yeah. How is that?
Much
Someone explain
math.
what observing is? You walk in, you sit at a computer, and you just, like...
Yeah, okay, literally, like, I did CSGO.
Okay.
First time ever observing. I got, like, I'm not going to say minimal instruction, but it was like, you do ABC and that's how you do it. But in reality, it's like all your number keys, and then, like, a follow button. You switch between the number keys to, like, switch players. And, like, if Bob throws a grenade, you hit the follow button and you can track the grenade through.
Okay.
And when you release, you just go back to Bob. That is your whole job.
Okay.
So, like, basically, like, you're staring at the mini-map, right? And if you see, like, Bob on Team A is pulling up on Jimmy from Team B, you just switch to one of them. Rinse,
Hope that
repeat.
you switch to the right one. And actually.
yeah.
It's going down to like good judgment. Like you're expecting like, oh, like, yeah, if like Bob's already getting like 8 kills and Jimmy's only at 2, you're going to probably cam to Bob because 100% he's probably going to get it. But from going off from CJ though, like I know I've done like a lot of like observing.
Way more than me.
And like Valorant is very, like it's more big map. Same with CSGO, bigger map. So like these players take some time to actually encounter each other. It's a whole different ball game when you get to Call of Duty though.
Oh, okay.
Because Call of Duty, there's like so many
Shout out to
kills.
the Valorant team. Shout out to less of a shout out to the Call of Duty team. I think we're beefing. That's related.
I need to go.
They know what they did.
Oh.
I think it's, yeah. But yeah, it's because they both play on Mondays and that's when I work, so I will be clipping them, and it's just they're like such different games, and it's like just different games, obviously, but like different tempos even. Like they have like COD has the different like search and destroy.
Yeah.
Control hard point.
The hard point, which is like basically King of the Hill. Someone explained to me something like that. There's other stuff. I think
Honestly, I just find Call of Duty
Control.
in particular, you get a different type of personality.
Yeah,
I'm not educated in personality types.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm like at the desk. I become an observer for all the teams. Like I see like what goes on behind the scenes, kind of. And the COD and Valorant guys are just so different. You know, great guys, both of them, but so different, so different.
Like, take a Kier for example, and then take like a Boyce.
Just different.
Them two are like so 2 different lanes.
Let's put it this way.
Like, I
I
would
saw
say.
Kier out on St. Patty's Day. I did not see Boyce.
Because he was probably playing Valorant at home.
Yeah,
maybe.
I love Boyce.
Yeah, great guy. He is a great guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing against on him on that.
Yeah.
It's just just different tempos. Like Kier he is a beautiful character though. They're all beautiful characters.
Beautiful soul.
Yeah, beautiful souls. Everyone's beautiful here.
You gotta love the energy.
Oh yeah.
I wish we did. I know it'd be bad, but like I forget what it's called, but when you mic the players up and for like
Hot mics.
yeah, hot mics. I know it would cause so much trouble, but like oh my god, do I live for drama?
Okay, you got to drive more into that though. If you think about it, you have always been behind the scenes, hearing all of the players
And
break
everyone I
it down
talk
and
to,
scream.
Like, who sits like in on the in the desk shift while the game's playing, they're always saying like the players say crazy stuff. Apparently the Smash players are insane. Love you guys, don't know you, love you. So I heard they're pretty fun to be around. Overwatch always just has great energy. We show like, face cams and stuff like that, but we don't show like them like when they're like,
They're called listen-ins in esports, right?
Yeah, listen-ins.
We've dabbled and debated such things. But
I think it would be tough. It would be really tough, I imagine. But like, if there were a way.
What is the most gruesome, like, sort of, like, thing you probably heard from one of the players? Like you don't have to like
the trash talking, like just for the other team, like they're just like it'll be like some team and they're just like throwing their name and into this like it's insane what they say. I don't know. I don't want to dox anyone. But
I feel like from all the stuttering, there was definitely probably like 20 swear words into sentences.
Yeah, like I'm just like censoring it in my head, and it's just like
you're not going to get anything from this story.
You cannot. I know this is like a very like free speech podcast, whatever. Like I asked you guys if I could swear and you said yes.
Yes.
But I cannot be doing that kind of swearing on here.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, okay. Like you're like a child of God. Can't do it. Okay.
No. It's like that's sailor would be blushing, you know.
Oh. That was a good description.
Goodness. Before we talk any more about sailors or the potty mouth.
Ahoy.
The potty mouth teams, Alex, you got anything before I wrap this up?
I really kind of want to dive into, I mean, of course, I feel like I might know the answer, but we got to know your favorite game.
Okay, well, yeah, Sims 4, obviously. There was, so many memories. Like, my friend introduced it to me, and then we always played it. There's, I would say there's, a few different kinds of sim players. There's the ones who do the challenges. There's, also the ones who just, replicate real life, and then, will control, the people. So, they'll give, they'll put, let's say if I was making a Sims world based on that, I'd put myself, and then I'd put you guys in there, and I would, just... I don't know what I'd do, but, I'm just saying, people, a lot of Sims players will just, make real life, and they'll, put in their, partner, their boyfriend, girlfriend, and then they'll make them just,
It's like killing me and Alex on your sim game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and I'm just gonna make you drown.
Make a scene.
You're gonna be electrocuted, you'll drown, I think. I think those suit you all.
Oh, great.
Little voodoo doll action. We just combust instantly when she makes her sim characters.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we're not going to be here anymore. After
I'm taking over.
After this Saturday,
my fuel report.
Yeah, the Radish report. If it's
the Radish report now.
The Radish report next week, you'll know what happened.
Yeah. They're sick.
Oh my God, that was a death stare. I'm scared now.
Well, if you're scared, we'll allow you to run away here. We'll run on up
You
to
can
the
run,
next.
but you can't hide.
Help me. We'll catch you guys on the next segment of the Fuel Report just after this. Thanks, Veronica, for joining us. Thank you, Mins, for doing the production work. We'll see you back with CJ's Top 10s.
Bye.
And maybe the 100 challenge babies.
Yay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we just got to hear from Radish there. It was definitely an interesting interview. It's fun to see sort of somebody's outside perspective, especially when they don't play competitive games and when they work at the Fuel. I mean, I wasn't there. I loved the interview. I think you guys both had a great time in the interview. Overall, it was an awesome interview, and that's my take. Mins, CJ, any thoughts?
Honestly, it was a whole lot of fun to do, and had a lot of fun doing our second interview as well later. So if you enjoyed that one, we got another just as good one waiting for you after the tier list.
Yeah, and that's gonna be our next segment here is the tier list. We decided to each select our top 10 favorite snacks, and I know what I submitted. I have no idea what Mins and CJ submitted, and it goes the same way for all of us. Mins knows what he picked, doesn't know what anybody else picked. CJ knows what he picked, doesn't know what anybody else picked. So without further ado, let's get into this tier list here. Not sure who's teeing up first. I think it might be me. We'll see. Is it me?
I believe so. It's going to be you.
All right, sick. Let's get to it. All right, so coming in at my number one spot here, I picked popcorn. Popcorn is just it's sweet, or it can be sweet. It's salty, it's buttery, but it doesn't. One wipe on a serviette and you get that grease off your hands, so it's not getting on your controller or your peripherals. I'm gonna put this personally. I'm gonna put it at the B tier. Like that was just sort of my number one, throwing it out there. I'm going to put it at the B tier. I definitely think that I have some better things on my list. I don't know what you guys think. Any thoughts, CJ, Mins?
Well, you know what? We have two options here. Do we want to get them all on the board and then debate, or do we want to go pick by pick debate? And you want to let me and Mr. Mins in on this one now, because I have an opinion for now, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want to argue pick by pick, or do you want to get them on the board first?
I think we fire. Actually, you know what? Let's fire them on the board first. Yeah, I feel like it'll go quicker.
Yeah, let's fire them on the board.
Coming in, another one of my go-to snacks. It's going to be Doritos nacho cheese. You know, got to go with the classic, especially if you're a COD player. You get that double XP when you buy a bag right off the rip. So I think sheerly just based off the double XP, that's got to go in S tier. They're delicious. Yeah, sure, you get the cheese, but once again, a little serviette action and you're good to go.
It is a classic. Gotta say.
Classic. You got to give it to them. Next, you know, anybody who's ever tried to do a 24-hour stream or stayed up past, you know, like 2 a.m, I'm sure you're all aware of this. It's going to be an energy drink. It's my personal favorite monster. It's going to be Pacific Punch. I don't know if you guys have had this. This bangs. Like this bangs. And I think I'm going to put it in the A tier. Just, you know, in between the two. You know, I don't think it beats Doritos out by any means, but it's definitely like I stream on my own. So when I'm doing a late night stream or I'm doing a 24-hour stream, I'm reaching for this. You know what I mean? But next up, it's going to be another sort of fan favorite, a gamer drink. It's going to be Mountain Dew Original. You know, where would we be right now without Mountain Dew Original in the gaming world, right? Like, who knows? How many memes have been made up about Mountain Dew Original? And I think it's going to slot into the B tier. You know, you also get double XP with it, but I don't know, like just something about it. Like it's good, but it's also like it's super duper sweet. So like I can only sort of tolerate so much of it. Coming in at my number 5, it's going to be G Fuel Blue Ice. Now, I don't know if you guys have had this, but it tastes like a melted snow cone, and it's awesome. One thing I will say, the one sort of takeaway from G Fuel is it does get a little chalky. So I think that's going to go in the C tier for me. Coming up next, this is going to be, if this isn't a fan favorite, I'm going to riot. It's going to be Oreos with milk. Dude, Oreos with milk, doesn't matter if you're gaming or if you're watching a movie, they bang, right? So that's going up into A. Like, you can just have the Oreo on its own. You can take a sip of milk instead of dipping. Awesome, awesome combo. It's going into A for me. My next one. Hold
on. Do you mind if I jump in here real quick? I just have a question on that last pick there. Because you know what? I'm not disagreeing with the Oreo idea. I'm not even disagreeing with the Oreo placement. You already got those original Doritos on here. What made you stick to the original Oreo over like the cinnamon bun ones? Bang, carrot cake, Bang's birthday cake, slaps, double stuffed, mega stuffed, the biggest stuffed ever. Like, there's some options here. What made you settle original?
Okay, that's a really good question. You know what? I had the biggest stuffed, and the biggest stuff does bang. My biggest thing is I'm a big like everything in moderation type of guy. You know what I mean? Like, what makes the biggest stuff bang so much is that it's got crumbled up cookie in the icing. Whereas like this, I think it's the perfect cookie to icing ratio where you're not like, it doesn't feel like you're eating a tub of icing with like, it doesn't feel like I'm soaking a Dunkaroo in a tub of icing and then going in. It's like, okay, this is it's evenly spread, you know? It's just like, it's the perfect ratio for me.
CJ, I think you missed the Oreo Thins.
Thins? Look at me. I have no interest in those Oreo Thins.
Okay.
I can say with the utmost confidence, at no point in my life have I ever sought after or consumed an Oreo Thin.
Yeah, I'm hopping on with CJ there.
You're missing. Honestly, you're missing out because you know what? Those like mini Oreos that you can get, like those like small ones, they're like exactly the same taste of those.
All right.
The mini ones do slap, so I'll give you that. That's fair. If what you're saying is facts there. All I know is, like, as a kid, you know, I couldn't just eat an Oreo. I couldn't just pick it out the pack and go at it. You know, I needed my operation. So sometimes, you know, I just put a fork through the cream, sit that in my milk for a bit, and then you just have a perfect serving utensil for that Oreo. But other days, you need to crack out that butter knife, you know, feel like I'm eating a dessert oyster, and you're just going to pry out all that cream, and you're going to make your own at-home mega stuffed. And there's just something about the original. So, you know what? I respect that pick out of you, Nightflash.
You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. And you know what? Big shout out to Methods, who's now signed for Optic. He used to deep fry Oreos when he was going through his fat phase. He would deep fry Oreos, and like, I've never tried it, but he would mix it up in pancake batter and then just throw it in some oil. Dude, it sounds so good, and I'm gonna have to try it one of these days. But let's get off Oreos for now. Coming in at my number 7 pick, it's gonna be ramen. Just like straight up instant ramen. Doesn't matter what flavor. You can eat it dry and it's good. But also, if you're grinding, right? Like, let's say, you know, your favorite game just can't, like, new DLC, like new season, whatever. Dude, you're away from your setup for 5 to 7 minutes. And then you've got like arguably a meal, but you can also like consider it a snack till you actually eat food. Dude, it's unmatched. It's hot. It's not, like I said, I had ramen today. It's good on like a nice cold day. That's got to be in B tier as well. Next up, this is another one that I'm like kind of like, is it a snack? Is it not? It's gonna be pizza rolls. Like, obviously we don't have Totino's here, but if you go to I've got a Food Basics just down the road from me. $10 gets you like a fucking 5-pound bag, and yeah, you throw those in the microwave or in the oven for what, like, I think it's 5 minutes in the micro, 10 minutes in the oven, and you've got a delicious crispy snack. So that, you know what, that's gonna go A for me.
Nightflash, I just gotta, now, you know, all those little $10 bags are kind of home runs down at Food Basics there. They do the same deal at Superstore, just so you know, if you're looking for a different variety. But I'll save you even more time on your preparation. The air fryer. It's just a weapon. You have to. It's an investment, and it is worth, like, you slap them in there, you preheat that sucker, 2 to 5 minutes, perfect.
You've seen my counter space. I don't have room for one.
Like, for me, I was talking about this with my roommate the other day. I don't use the microwave. Like, the microwave just, like, it doesn't exist to me. Like any sort of rice, anything like that, that's going in the oven. Anything like air fryer, oven, that's how I'm reheating my food. And it's just, who needs the microwave? Talk to the landlord. Get some negotiation going. I'll trade you a microwave for a nice air fryer. And man, my dream home appliance, because you can buy them now, it's basically a Subway oven, but for home. It's got that sick flash quick bake. It's got a microwave option. It's got like, what else could you need? I had to dive in and throw that 2 cents out there before you wrap your list up.
All right. Well, I still got 2 more on here, so we're not out of the woods yet. Number 9 is going to be original Skittles. I know that there are some sour diehard fans out there. There's some tropical diehard fans out there. I'm a fan of the original. I get a 3-pack every year for Christmas. I gotta say, they slap. Like, just as like a little quick pop it in, like you just died in a game, pop it in, and you're respawning up, and you just need that. You need that sugar to sort of keep you going. I think this is gonna take. I think it's gonna take an A tier. Again, I don't think, you know, Skittles original, you can't really beat them. I do enjoy sour Skittles as well. I just, you know, eventually your mouth starts to like kill from them, right?
Yeah.
And then my number 10, and this is like a childhood favorite for mine. It's gonna be Goldfish 3 cheese. Dude, Goldfish 3 cheese slaps. And that 100% is going S tier with Doritos. No question about it. You don't get the finger dust. They're delicious. They're nice and salty. And you know what? They're not terrible for you. They're definitely not good, but they're not terrible for you. So that's my list.
Okay, hold on. I feel like I changed my mind. I feel like between each list, we should reformat so we don't have to think all the way back to the start to go through these. So I feel like we should just tee off after everybody gets their 10 on the board. First things first for me. I've been waiting on this entire list. Popcorn for me, easily an F tier snack. And I know that's a hot take. I'm just not a big fan of popcorn. If it's not straight out of Cineplex, it's just not for me personally. So I feel like, in my opinion, and if I can get Alex on board, I'll settle for a C spot. Alex, what do you have to say there?
I was going to put it in E. I was going to say
Thank
E.
you. Thank you. Okay. Well, you know what?
Okay. The only reason why is because for like the popcorn, yeah. Like if it was like movie popcorn, like that you get from the cinema,
could be.
I would put that maybe C though, but I know myself, like popcorn, like it just, you're in the middle of a game and then you had a kernel or something in your tooth or something.
Yes.
You're sitting there and
Fair
you're trying
enough,
to like
fair
play
enough.
the game and it's like, bro, like I can't get this kernel out. It's just annoying.
Okay. Now,
All right, I will compromise. I'll go D.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'll go D.
Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Now, I'll continue through. I'm okay with the G Fuel. And Alex, you cut me off at any point in time if you have a different take. I'm okay with the Mountain Dew and the ramen. Coming into this A tier, I'm actually personally, I'm okay with all those picks as well. The S tier, now that, I'm not, you know what? I feel like those are two A tier snacks. Alex, do either of those make that S tier for you? Doritos a contender. I'll give you that.
I would put the Doritos almost in a B tier just because like I just don't like my fingers like getting all like cheesy and stuff and like
I can't wait for your tier list.
Yeah.
I am shredding you guys apart.
Honestly, I would put Oreos up to the S because you know what, like they're an OG thing to have sometimes, and you know what, like sometimes if all of a sudden you've just been gaming for like hours on end,
I approve that,
and you're like looking for a snack, the Oreos are just always there for you.
Give me the Oreo Dorito swap, Nightflash, if you will approve that change.
Yeah, I'm with it. Whatever.
Okay, the goldfish. Now the goldfish. The class. That's a classic selection. Yeah, like any other goldfish without that sort of justification, that's going to be a B tier for me. I feel like he sold it as an A though. Alex,
I think it's A.
All right. You know what? I'll take it. It's not like a popcorn decrease here, so throw it in A. I'm cool with that.
Okay. And you know what? I feel like your A is busy, but I'm just going to give that a kudos to your list in general. It just means we're going to have to really drop the hammer down the stretch here. I guess if we want to maintain with consistency and just sort of the order of our cams here, I'm not sure if this is going to be a bit of a bugger for a producer, but I guess I'll step up into the ring. So, Kieran, you'll have that opportunity to go to battle over my picks. Apollo,
I'm ready.
If you're ready, the first slot on my list, and my list is actually in order of preference. I'm not rate of acquisition, just what I'm feeling. The first one on my list is nachos. Could be chicken nachos, could be veg nachos. And you know what? I'm putting it in a class like a sort of tater tots. You hit a quick little wet serviette, a paper towel, and you're good to go. You're playing Search and Destroy or a League of Legends. You got a second to sort of attack it. Just because of the time it takes to prep, consume, acquire, and the specification of game required, for me, that's going to be a B tier snack, just like the ramen. But for me, it just does it. Absolutely satisfying for me. Coming in at our 2 spot. Now this, Nightflash, in my opinion, I'm not sure how you feel about these, so I'm curious to get your take on this. Number 2 is jalapeno poppers. And you know what? The pizza bites were a contender for me. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, they're not very messy. Quick little wipe off, good to go. And you know what? It's just at that point, I would almost make them interchangeable with those pizza bites. You know what I mean? Some people preference those. Same sort of elk or category. So you know what? For now, I'm slapping that in the A tier. I'm sure it's going to get bumped down, but that's okay. We're going to get mine up on the board, and then the debates can ensue. My first drink is about to come off the board, and it is Mountain Dew Spark. Mountain Dew Spark absolutely slaps. Has enough sugar in it to kill a small child. But my goodness, is it absolutely delicious. Just because, if originals a B, Spark can't be above a B. So that's instantly going to be a B slot drink for me. But for me, it's better than Mountain Dew Original, but I'm happy with that sitting at a B slot. And you know what? We're going to keep some consistency going, and we're going to keep the train of drinks rolling. It's Lime Crush up next. And you know what? Growing up, Orange Crush was sort of my go-to. It was sort of my favorite. And then one day I went down to the States and I found out Lime Crush existed. And I felt like I had been lied to my entire life. And for me, that's another B tier drink. It's not exceptionally amazing. It's not out of this world great, but my goodness, is it just a steady rotation player? Halfway through our fifth slot, Flaming Hot Nachos Doritos. You know what? I like the classic. Now, you might think this is a hot pick. I'm going to put these guys in the C class just because this is a very niche nacho. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to reach for that Flamin' Hot, and lots of people will never reach for the Flamin' Hot. But for those spice lovers out there, it's a crucial niche pick. It's like a sharpshooter coming off the bench in basketball. It's a key part of my rotation, so that's going to be a C pick for me. Not every team needs the Flamin' Hot Nachos, but my team does. Coming in at my sixth slot. Now, my official sandwich, I kind of had to pick the best one out of them. Nutella peanut butter sandwich. If you like peanut butter and honey, if you like PB&J, whatever does it for you, roll with it. But for me, this is trusty. This is consistent. It's fast to make, and you can toast them up. You can eat them raw, and by gosh darn it, I could eat 100 of them. That is an S tier snack for me, and it will never get old. From childhood to now, that is a bread-winning pick. Coming in at number 7. I feel like Nightflash, I'm not sure how you feel about Pops in general, but, we're on a similar vibe here. We got Tropical Sprite coming in. Tropical Sprite is delicious. Like, it's absolutely, like, when I found out this existed and I got to try it, like, I loved Hawaiian Punch growing up, and just like Hawaiian Punch and Sprite had a baby, and it's called Tropical. Absolutely delicious, delectable, and that's an A-tier drink for me, right along with a punchy monster, in my opinion. We're starting to wind down my list, but it's time to get into the fun ones. And you know what? This may be another hot take, but it's going to be a Labatt Max Ice. And for those watching, it can be any sort of beer of your choice, but that's an S tier category for me. You've had a long week. You're looking to wind down on the games with your buddy. You just finished dinner, got nothing else to do in your evening, and you just crack a beer out the freezer, ready to roll, get some sips in between the rounds, and you don't get better than that. Our 9th pick, we're going to keep the niche going. Now, I'm going to call this one a snack enhancer. So just off of default and due to its niche variety, I'm going to make it, this is a tough one because for me it's an S+, but ultimately I think I'm going to sit in the C tier. And that's Wink Grapes and Cream, one of the best strains I've ever had. And I picked this one in particular because it just tastes good. Nice little dessert strain, pairs with all your food well, and it enhances your experience of your snacks and your gaming. Absolutely can't complain. And we got to keep it traditional. Not in the pick, but in the sort of class of snack. We're going to end things off for me with the chips. And it's Cheetos Extra Flamin' Hot Crunchy. And for me, you know what? Some teams need a lot of shooters. Sometimes you need a lot of shooters on that bench, and teams by teams, different niche rotation. For me, that's another C pick. You got to keep your shooters together. And that's the end of my list here.
Oh my God.
I'm ready to have you guys go to town.
Oh, you have no idea, CJ. I think I may have agreed with 2 things that you stated. I'm not even going to lie. First off, Nutella and peanut butter sandwich.
Please put that to F.
You know what? I'll give it a D just because it sounds like it would bang. But like,
you haven't tried it?
No, I haven't tried it.
You've never had a Nutella and peanut butter sandwich?
No,
I haven't. I hate it.
It's magical. What about a PB&J? Because it could be a PB&J, peanut butter, honey,
no,
whatever it does it for you.
You said peanut butter and Nutella. I've never had it. I've never tried it.
Yeah,
so I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Minz is saying it's bad. You're saying it's good. I'm going to go middle of the road. That's got to get slotted in at C.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm bringing you a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich, Nightflash, and you will see that, like, retrospectively, you're going to be like, I made a mistake here.
Now,
Yeah, you made a mistake on trying it.
Okay. Mins, can I just go in here and we can sort of like can I just go in here? Okay. The grapes and cream. We got to talk about this. I consider myself a fairly competitive player. Like I like to compete in Call of Duty. I play ranked in Rainbow Six. Granted, I'm not very good at Rainbow Six, but I still play ranked. Smoking, don't do it for me. My reaction time goes in the bin. I can't figure out my controls, especially with like me not being a real keyboard and mouse player. Playing R6, I already fat finger buttons. Add in my mind being absolutely swoggled. That's my F on this list. I don't get me wrong. I think there's definitely a time and a place. Like I enjoy, sitting around with some fellas partaking, or like, before I go to sleep, or to enhance my food. But while I'm gaming, not a chance.
For me, it's like a little aimbot, calm me down, de-stress, don't have me overreacting to everything. Just has me dialed in.
I'm just going to sip my coffee because, I agree with Kieran on this one. So
down to
F. Move it to F then. See you later, Wink.
Now, the jalapeno poppers. Okay. They bang, but once again, it comes down to the competitiveness and like me going while I'm playing games, sort of, having the fire breath.
What's the difference with the pizza pocket bites and the jalapeno poppers? There is absolutely no difference between those two items, sir.
I am also not a huge fan of cream cheese. So you know what? Because I wouldn't partake, I'm not gonna sort of take that off. I'll leave that today. I've never had Sprite Tropical, so I can't rank that. I think any beverage, any beer that you're gonna drink or cooler, whatever, once again, it should be in moderation. I'm gonna put that at an A, just because I feel like once I have one, Mins, are you on board with this?
Is that a B for you, Mins? Or is that lower?
Oh, it's lower because I will be honest, I've never had this drink.
Any beer.
It could be
any beer. I just chose that beer off an example to get it on here. That's my favorite beer, but just beer in general.
I'd put a D.
D. I said A. I think like middle of the road there's B.
Well, I said S. So that's S, A, and
D.
A D, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a B for me if you're good with that, Mr. Mins.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think I'm cool with that. Mins, do you have anything? Oh, actually, you know what? Crushed lime has got to go down to a C. It's delicious.
Yes.
It's delicious. Hold on. But the only place that I can find it is Circle K. The only
that's
place.
Fair.
And if I want, if it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh man, I could really use a drink, blah, 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 but I don't want to drive 15 minutes or 10 minutes to my Circle K. Because granted, you have one right across the street, so you can just run down. I have to go drive to one. So purely just based off availability, that's going to go C for me.
I can accept that.
I got to be honest, I would push it to D.
Alex is throwing haymakers out here. What's your rationale behind that?
I would put that down into D because you know what? It honestly, I don't really see that there's crush okay, it is not bad of drinks, but the lime kind, I can't have it's not my vibe. I don't get it. I don't know why all those crush drinks all of a sudden after I had grape, they all just taste like medicine for some reason for me now. None of them are singularly tasting right to me afterwards. And then when I tried lime, I was like, this just seems like a weird concoction of mixtures of one crush to another crush. An orange crush met some sort of weird Fruitopia.
Now, Orange Fanta, just OG Orange Fanta and Orangina were competitive. They were almost included over the Lime Crush there. Do love an Orangina.
Okay, if it was Orange Crush, I probably would have accepted it.
Nightflash between you two. You want to bump down to D?
No, I'm saying C. You know what? I think it bangs. It bangs. I keep a case of whatever in my living room.
All right.
I like to be able to just sort of walk out and grab it. Can't do that with Lime Crush unless I'm going to keep 17 Polar Pops just sort of stacked up in my living room, which isn't happening. So I'm cool with it at C.
All right. That's fine with me.
All right.
I get it.
The Mountain Dew Spark. Any bones to pick with the Mountain Dew Spark? Don't forget about that in there.
You know what? I've never had it, but I remember hearing it was very popular. Like it was up there with what's that other one that like
It's Baja Blast.
Yeah, Baja Blast. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone was like, everyone was bringing it up there with that one. So I was like, fine. Like, you know what? When you said B, I was like, it seems like it's an affordable place for it. So
I had it yesterday. I don't think it's as good as original. It's definitely not as good as Baja Blast, but it's on the lower end of B. I don't think it's a C. So it's on the lower end of B.
I'll accept that answer because I also prefer Baja. It's just like Baja. I find if I drink it too much, like I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it does to me, but I drink Baja for a few weeks and like I feel like my processing speed starts to decrease, whereas there's enough caffeine. Like, I don't know if it's a caffeine to sugar ratio. Spark, I feel like it picks me up a little bit. Baja, it feels like it slows me down. So that's why Spark came out on top for me in my ranking. But, I'm surprised you went original over Baja yourself as well there.
You know what? I like Baja too, but once again, like you said, no. Keep it at B. Keep it at B. Keep it at B. Just on the lower end of B. Yeah, there you go. No, so Baja is it's definitely like one of my favorites, but like you said, in moderation. Like I could pound a Mountain Dew like every day of the week, but like if I did that and sort of like not feel fine, but like just sort of be like, oh, like I'm getting kind of sick of Mountain Dew. If I did that with Baja Blast, I would be like, I would feel like I was starting to turn the color of Baja Blast, like that bluish green, the like turquoise. So that is why I didn't list it, because like I said, I buy a case of something and keep it like present and near. So that was just sort of my breakdown of that. I think other than that, I'm good. Mins, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just actually thinking more about your goldfish there, buddy. I actually think that should be knocked down a few.
like, are you saying a B tier, Alex? I'll take a move to B tier.
I think it should be moved down to a B tier. To be honest,
nobody's safe. Pull the goldfish down to B.
You know what? I feel like I just moved literally everything that CJ listed, other than tropical Sprite and jalapeno poppers. So I'm cool with that.
Hey, I'm always receptive to input and feedback. I'm A-okay with it, so it's all good for me. I'm excited for Mr. Mins' list.
All right. It has some interesting things to it, but you know what? At the same time, there's some nice, like, typical generic things that, you know what, I feel like everyone kind of likes to go to. But I'll start off with number 1, the Doritos Sweet Chili Heat. I like, you know what, it is a good classic one. I like to have it. I mean, it's just kind of a nice one to have time to time. I like it more with casual gaming, so it's not my like always go to. I would put it actually in D. That would be me, just because like it's more the fingers for me. I always hate when my fingers are like just filled with like that Dorito like stuff, or like just anything that's like sort of grimy on my fingers. It's like, nah, like I need to clean my hands right away. So that's why I'm fine with like casual gameplay, adventure games, because then like I can snack on it sometimes and then wipe my fingers and chill with it. But second one though is Miss Vicky's sea salt and malt vinegar. This one, I don't know, it has a soft spot for me. It's just like I feel like a go-to one. Like, I mean, it's even like when you're at like a crowd, like at like some sort of like gathering at like some friend's place and everyone's sort of just gaming. That's always just kind of the one that's just out in a bowl somewhere. That's just chilling. Like I would put it over in an A tier spot, just because, you know, like it is a nice sort of go-to one to get. Kieran, I already see your face up there. You're like, nah.
Jeez.
All right. Now we're taking things a little bit of a turn. We're going to some drinks now. Guru Tropical Flavor. This, okay, I think there could be a little bit of some backlash on this one, but it actually slaps. It's a really nice one because it doesn't have like that high amount of sugar, like the Mountain Dew, and like you're like up and like all entire night, like trying to like keep playing because like you have nothing else to do because you just have all this energy. The Guru is like kind of just nice and mellow. Like if you want to go and like actually get into some nice gaming, you can, and it will give you some good boost of energy. I would put it in C because I feel like there might be already some hate from it, but I think it's a deservable C by that Crush Lime. All right. Next one though. Sour Key gummies. These ones for me is a 10 out of 10. That like I don't know why it's like baseball players when like they're out there like the spin this what is it the sesame
Sunflower
seeds,
seeds?
yeah, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, good lord, yeah, the sunflower seeds. Like I like just like sometimes just like have one just like kind of chilling by me. It's just a nice one just to have, and I just honestly I would put it in the S tier. It I think it's a deserving sort of spot for it. But I mean I love everything that's spicy and sour, so I am a different creature because I mean if we're gonna start speaking sour, you know it, Kieran. Sour Skittles. They gotta come out. I love the sour Skittles. They're like they're up there. I gotta say. But I don't know.
How up there?
Yeah, where are they at?
I don't think they're as good as like just your normal typical Skittles. I will say because you know what, they can get annoying if you keep eating like too many of them. So I would put them. I would put them actually probably around the D. I gotta put them at D, just because like they're great at the start, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah, you get
it's a little too
halfway,
much.
3/4 of the way through the bag, and you're like, "Oh my god, my mouth's bleeding."
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, the next day you have like a bunch of like your mouth is just like shredded.
Yeah.
All right, though. You guys ready for this one?
Yes, sir.
Lychee jelly cups.
No.
All right.
No.
This is
Down
the
to F.
best
Down
thing
to
to
F.
actually grab. I found these at a convenience store one time, and I remember just like having just a bunch on the side. It's just you're just able just to kind of just plop one in your mouth, and it's like, all right, you just keep your gaming.
When you have to use the word plop with food, you're already approaching a problem with me.
Yeah, no, down to F. Or,
Right.
or you know what? E. Down to E.
Yeah. Fine. I knew it was gonna be.
I had to jump in. I couldn't even wait on that one. I'm sorry. I'll continue your list.
It's fine. I knew that was gonna be dropped down so fast. Don't knock it till you try it, though.
Oh, I'm knocking.
I have to say. All right, this one I'm gonna even say before I announce the actual one. I'm 100% saying this is in S tier, and I hope you guys are gonna agree with this one. Arizona iced tea. It is just a nice classic one to go and grab too. And you know what? Sometimes if all of a sudden you're like,
Any flavor for this, right? We're going any. Okay, I support
say
that
any
then.
flavor. Yeah,
Yep,
I'd say any flavor.
Yep.
I know I would go for the original. And honestly, sometimes all of a sudden you might have forgot your wallet at home and you're like scrambling around the car and you're like, oh, I got $1 together. I can get Arizona.
Am I the only one who's noticed that they're up to like $3 or $4 now?
Oh yeah, welcome to inflation there, buddy.
Like, it still says 99 cents on the can, and I swing into a gas station and they're like, oh yeah, can I get 20 a regular and then I'll get this Arizona? And they're like, oh yeah, $24. And I'm like, whoa. Hold on. There's 99 cents on the can.
Little trade secrets for you. You go to Sobeys or Food Basics, and they sell the individual can like in the back aisle, and sometimes I find those are a lot cheaper.
Facts.
Just for everybody out there. But honestly, I used to, when I was in high school, like one of my thing was like trying to try all the Arizona flavors. So like I have gone so far out of my way to try different Arizonas that it has a place in my heart. Like for me, fruit punch and sweet tea though, they have a place with me. Like the Arizona sweet tea, I can't. I have no words for it. No words.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a great one to have. I love them. Because wait, yeah, I mean, what was the other one? I'm trying to think. There was a grape one.
I had a
But,
peach
like,
one for a while. That was really good.
there was a peach one.
The
Or a
lemonade
mango.
one also. Lemonade
Arnold
slapped.
Palmer's, the Arnold Palmer's, the half and halves.
Yep, those also
That's where it's
were-
at.
Yeah, those were also solid for sure. Arizona's kind of slept on. You
Yeah.
don't hear about them as much.
Arizona is slept on.
All right, let's move on to some next ones though that I got. And I'm gonna keep pumping up for the A and S tiers in these next ones because you know what.
Okay,
I
Vince,
think
actually, I have a question for you. Where were you going to rank the jelly lychee whatever?
I was actually gonna put that in B.
Okay, all right. So there's still hope for your ANS. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's hear the first
I was
one you
gonna
got
say
coming
B.
up.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really got to try the lychee jellies. I would say put them in B.
No,
But like,
staying in E.
okay. Okay. All right. Peanut butter filled pretzel bites. This 100% I would put in S. Because you know what? Your fingers don't like it all like, eh. And you know what? It's the best of both worlds. You get some nice peanut butter taste with a really nice pretzel.
You ever dip those in Nutella? Because I can assure
No!
you.
God, no.
I can assure you they taste delectable dipped in Nutella.
Oh. Oh, no. Mamma mia.
Ooh,
That would
you
just
know-
ruin the whole taste on them. Oh my gosh. And like I don't know. I say they're actually I feel like they're very underrated these pretzel bites. Like they go home for me, and you know what? I am a big fan of some peanut butter too. So coming in next, I 100% will put this one another one into the S tier. Reese's Pieces.
No. No.
Let's get to
Oh,
let's,
come
no,
on.
put it in the S tier
Come
for now.
on.
Put it in the S tier for now. Let's get them to the end of the list before I come into town and we start making some adjustments. So I want to see where these lay. Let the pieces fall.
Come
Yeah,
on.
let the
I got-
Reese's Pieces fall? Yeah, they'll fall to B.
you know, the Reese's Pieces, man, they're such a good classic one to have though. Like they're up there with the peanut butter, good tasting. It's just a great one. You could just grab sort of a handful, just keep her gaming. It's the best. It's the best of both worlds, man. Peanut butter, you can't go wrong with it. But okay.
Yeah.
Mins, I'll give you.
Is this your last one?
Fine, yes, this is my last one. This is my last one. I'm gonna put it in the A. Because you know what? I've been jam packing with S right now. Because you know what? I need to put it up there. Dr. Pepper. This one is good. I feel like there should be zero complaints. Like this is a classic go-to. It's
Okay.
it is a good one to have. And it actually can mix with a lot of other snacks too. And if you're getting sick and tired of Coca-Cola and like Pepsi and like all those other ones, you'd be like, you know, I'm gonna change it up to Dr. Pepper. And it's just a nice little spin-off.
Unleash the hounds. Unleash the hounds. Nightflash, I'll take it from the top. Now, first off, now this one I'm actually on Team Alex for, because this one never even crossed my mind, but this one was massive for me through my middle school and early high school years as a rotation piece. The sour keys, I'm for that. I like that. I support
Let's
that.
go. Let's go.
Nightflash, what's your take on the sour keys?
You know what? I enjoy sour keys. I enjoy them. That's all I'm saying. But they are not S. They especially not those ones. Those are the big ones. If you had brought up the small ones where you can just pop it in and go, I'm on board.
The big ones are the best.
I know they're the best, but it takes some work. I don't know about you, but I like to get all the sugar off and then I eat it.
Yeah.
Am I weird for that?
That's, no. That's how I fancy doing it that way myself.
So if I'm at like, if it's, you know, if I'm solo queuing league and I'm queuing top lane and I'm getting 20-minute queues, I'm on board for sour keys. Any other game, they're going A or B. Just because of the length of time that it takes. And whoever just said in chat, it's not even sugar. It is sugar and malic acid. Don't get on me, Delord. Don't get on me. Next up, I will let you pick between Reese's Pieces and pretzels to stay an S.
No, wait. Hold on. Because I feel like I can side with you moving them to A. I just feel like we need to jettison Dr. Pepper the hell on out of there before we reallocate something.
Very true. Dr. Pepper, you take
a D
this,
for me. That's a D for me. What about you, Nightflash?
I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C if G Fuel moves up to B.
Hold up. Wait, sorry. Which one was this one again?
Dr. Pepper.
No way.
You know what? Because it's a classic, I can actually see the B. I can see the B. There's a lot of people that love Dr. Pepper out there.
Nah, it's 100% a C. Because, like, there's no way you're ranking Dr. Pepper at the same rate that you're rating Mountain Dew. Like, Dr. Pepper...
I bet you lots of people would, though.
No. But this isn't lots of people. This is R3.
Okay, see.
I personally am never reaching for a Dr. Pepper. I'm going Cherry Pepsi or Cherry Coke. Like
Dr. Pepper, I like the name because it tastes like a Coke or Pepsi that got sick. Like it's just off to me.
Dude, it is a cherry Pepsi that is fermented for a couple weeks. Like that is what it is. So I'm putting it at C. I'm C or B, but if it's B, G Fuel has to move up.
Alex had it at S, right?
Yeah, he had it at A.
No, I had it at A, and you're saying... Okay, for me, G Fuel, you can't say chalky and move it into the B tier. That doesn't work.
Okay, if we're talking like all G Fuel, right? G Fuel cans are not chalky. If you get a Blue Ice can, I'm putting it at S tier because it's delicious. But like my only beef is that it gets chalky. But all you have to do to like right the chalkiness is shake your shaker again, and you're good to go, right? And like I prefer the taste of Blue Ice over Dr. Pepper. This is me personally. I'm also looking at the chat, and I am getting people are lighting us up for having G Fuel so low. So my thing is G Fuel. I'm taking it over Dr. Pepper 100% every day of the week, hands down.
Okay, swap G Fuel and Dr. Yeah, I agree with that. But swap G Fuel and Dr. Pepper then. Sour Keys to A then.
Sour Keys to A.
Sour Keys to A. Arizona, for me, I will go to war for Arizona.
Yeah, it stays S. It stays S.
That's an S pick through or through. Now, Reese's Pieces. I feel like these pieces are about to fall right on down. My official vote for Reese's Pieces is F. I know it's a hot. Like, I just don't like them.
I can't.
If I want a Reese's, I'm going for the cup.
I can't. No. Because we're gaming and the cup gets on your fingers. Like I can see
that's a 1-bite cup, my good sir.
Yeah, that's but like you've got to pull it off, and then like that chocolate is such a low melting point where if you're like fumbling with that wrapper that like loves to stick on like that, you're getting chocolate on your fingers. So
that's true.
I'm willing to make a deal with Min's, Reese's, or Pretzel Bites. Actually, you know what? Reese's can stay in S, but Pretzel Bites have to go down to C, or Reese's goes down.
What?
Hold on. Or if you want, you know what? Pretzel Bites aren't even on there for me. They're not up there.
Pretzel Bites for me, like, okay, if I'm being real, Miss Vicky's, I would want to move down to B. Great, but not everybody's go-to. I would move the... Yeah, I know. I'd move Vicky's to B, Pretzel Bites to A, and Pieces to C, personally.
I'm putting Pieces at... where am I putting Pieces at? I'm putting Pieces at A, just because we have Nachos at B, and Nachos like can get all over your hands. Reese's Pieces have that like nice candy coating where nothing's getting on your hands. They're tasty, but they're definitely not going to be one of my go-tos. And then Pretzel Bites, just...
You're saying Pieces to A?
Sorry. I need to like cut you off because I know something, and I feel like I don't know. I'm bringing up another point, but this is going back to like the what are they called again? Like little pizza, those square things that I don't even know.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah, the pizza roll things. You know what? I wish I added this to my list because I feel like it should have been added into this. Bagel Bites.
Yeah, but
slap.
they
slap.
That would have been
you. Love that.
Yo, wanna know what's wild? I have a 40-pack in my freezer right now. They're delicious, but they just don't get as crispy as the pizza rolls for me. Anyways.
They do in the air fryer.
I don't have one. I'm working with what I got here, man.
Okay, hold on. Let's settle these down then. So Miss Vicky's to B, because we need to make that A slot first. Are we okay with this?
Yes. Miss Vicky, I'd put it lower purely just based on the fact
No.
purely based on the fact that he made sure to say it's sea salt and malt vinegar.
But they slap.
If it was original or their jalapeno, I'm on board. Dude, their jalapeno, amazing.
Are we saying pieces to A then?
Pieces to A, and then pretzel bites they've got to go D or C.
I mean,
and no, they have to go D, and sweet chili heat have to go C.
Alex, I'm going to accept Nightflash's move, but I'll say it on the record here. For me, they are an A tier snack.
All right.
Well, you know what? That's an S and an A. Where are you putting them, Nightflash?
I'm in for what those they're going D.
You put in D, S, A, D. That would average out to
I think it's a
B or a B. It'd be a B average.
I just love the Reese's
I don't know.
Pieces.
Just,
Okay, you know what?
Like they cut your mouth. Like
Drop the spark to C,
okay.
so Mountain Dew can have that edge on it, and then we'll put the pretzel bites there, and the pieces to A. Even I still think that's too high for the pieces first.
I got to be honest. I think Doritos should drop the cheese one. I really think it should be dropping down to C or even D.
There's no way you're doing Doritos like that.
Man, I just don't like the
Okay, first off, let's goldfish to C. Goldfish to C. Let's
I'm
make
on
some
board
room
with that.
there.
Okay, goldfish to C. Cool. There's no way you're disrespecting nacho cheese Doritos because they're like those are the Doritos that I could eat those for a week straight and like sure I'd get sick of them, but they're not like I could still eat them. You know what I mean?
Yes. They are so messy. I would put them right by the lychee jellies that you guys completely.
Dude, okay. You know what? If we're gonna go off mess here, the Nutella sandwich, I'm sure that squirts Nutella everywhere.
It doesn't if you make it sensibly. Just a little bit each side.
CJ,
you press that.
Have you seen me? Do you think I make my food sensibly? No. I slather the spread on there.
You know, we both know I do the same thing, but as long as you're a tactician with your execution,
but I
don't see the issue.
It's a gaming snack. Like I'm not taking out a ruler and I've left exactly 5 centimeters from the edge of the bread. It's not going to get out. No, I'm and running back to my setup.
Okay. Well, you know what? What if we go Doritos B? Okay. Keep them on level with Vicky's, because then that'll be sort of our highest chip category.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm okay with this.
I think goldfish goes to D.
There's no way.
And I think the pieces go to C. That's just me.
Nope. That is terrible.
Alex, help me out here. Goldfish to D?
Yes.
Yes, goldfish to D. It's happening.
There's no way you're saying goldfish are messy.
Agrees.
Yo, Apollo, you need to mix in a water, pal. There's no way you're saying goldfish are messy.
I would put it.
This guy's sick. He's on his 3rd bottle of NyQuil for the day.
Goldfish is going to. Well, okay, it's going. Because we need to make space out here.
Yeah.
I'm still on my pieces propaganda mission here.
Now, pieces do not go to C.
I think that's an A tier. Okay, lowest they go B.
But once again, okay, if we're doing this, Tropical Sprite has got to drop. I've never had it, never tried it.
Yeah.
So like purely just and like my thing with Lime Crush was it wasn't available. I've never even seen Tropical Sprite.
Yeah, where'd you find that, CJ? Like, I've never heard of this.
I was in Mississauga, and they had coolers near the thing. I walked right by it, and yeah, it was great.
I think
I literally saw it and popped in for it.
I think it's got to go lower. Honestly, I think it's got to go
Low,
D.
but
I
it's
think
actually so good.
I'm not, but
Yeah,
but
it's going
I'm
D.
not debating that. But like we've got the I
Put
think
it
it's
in D,
I think it's got to
Apollo.
go D.
Put it in D.
Purely
Send it.
just based on
Send it.
like I've seen Lime Crush, I've seen Mountain Dew Spark. I have never
accept it.
laid eyes on this. Honest to God, I thought that was Crystal Coke when you first brought it out.
Okay, I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Okay, I'm still on my Reese's Pieces sort of tirade here. What if we put Vicky's to C or Doritos, one of those two, in Pieces to B?
I think you know what? I think if we're moving Doritos, right? I think nacho
We can't move
cheese-
Doritos. Actually, we can't have those C class spicy ones in there.
Yeah, I think also, why is sweet chili heat so low?
What if we put all those niche picks in at D? So we put the hot ones with the sour Skittles and the sweet chili heat.
Dude, is the sweet chili heat really that niche though? Like those things, they bang.
I think that's a C for me minimum personally.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think we bring the flaming hot down, the flaming hot Doritos, and the sweet chili heat up.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't we swap? Why don't we swap the Doritos cheese and put the sweet chili heat up?
Oh, that's.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hear me out here. Sweet chili heat to A. I completely forgot that. No. Hear me out. Hear me out. I forgot that. I honestly forgot they existed. I haven't gotten chips in a long time. Sweet chili heat are like a top tier chip. They are a top tier chip. Like, your fingers don't get that gunky because of whatever reason. There's not that much powder on them.
Mm-hmm.
And B, that you get the sweetness, and then you get the little heat kick, but it's not like, oh my goodness, I need a gallon of milk. It's like,
but they're still messy. Okay, Pieces to B for the sake of my sanity. Let's get those pieces out of that spot.
They're going A. They're going A. They're going A. Reese's, they're going A. Yes. Nope.
All right, wait, hear me out.
No. Back of A. All the way back. Back of A.
Doritos sweet chili heat. S.
No, A.
What?
A. Because they're messy.
I feel like that's a B tier. I feel like they go to B and the pretzel bites go to C.
It goes to A. And the pretzel bites, I'm fine with where they're at. Reese's Pieces, I'm fine with where they're at. The sweet chili heat go to A.
Okay,
you got a B, an S, an A. A.
Alex, are you there on that? Are you there? A? If you're A on sweet chili heat, I will fold.
Sweet chili A.
Okay, it's done. Buck it and book it. It's out of there and it's on to A. Do we have any other sort of qualms? Whoa.
No.
That's sinister.
Yeah, dude. You can't do that.
Hold on.
C, maybe.
No.
Okay. Swap.
Dude, if they're C, what does that make nachos?
Nutella and peanut butter sandwich, swap that with the sour Skittles.
Oh, y'all are haters.
Nah. Sour Skittles, the mouthfeel, it does it in for me. They're delicious. I will say
delicious.
They're delicious, but for 5 minutes. And then after that, you're just in excruciating pain.
Any sort of snack that makes me think I want to consume it in moderation just isn't the snack for me.
I just don't think ramen should be up that high. Like, I would actually put that in D. Because, like,
There's
man,
no
afterwards...
way.
I'll take it at C. I'll vote C.
Afterwards, like, when you have ramen afterwards, like, man, I just, like, feel so, like, upset. And then, like, I'm just, like...
tired, too.
Yeah, you feel so tired. And it's like, bro, like... The reason why I just had ramen is because more than likely I was broke. So, like, I had nothing else of an option.
Dude, it's a good meal for when you're broke. I will accept C. I will prefer to B.
Accept C.
I will accept C. D is disrespectful.
Yeah, I retweet that.
All right.
Okay, I feel like we need any
final.
I feel like this is done as well. I'd love to get a clip of this. We get this posted up on social. See if anybody else wants to. Oh.
Wait.
Okay.
I think we should let, if anyone in the chat wants to give their final thoughts.
All right. Yeah. Chat. We will, if you guys can all agree on one thing and where to move it, we'll move it there. Light it up. Let's go. Let's see.
I've been reading through. You see, Delord was asking for that G Fuel power to go up, and it did go up. Okay. They were asking for that sour Skittle increase, but I feel like that is a a bit of a hot take there. Let's see what else we have going on. Sour under regular. Okay, the sour was an interesting take, but you know what? I stick by it. A lot of people felt like that sour should be higher. Boyce in the chat, you know what? I was thinking that this whole time. Boyce is absolutely correct, but that's all right. We can't.
What did Boyce say? What did Boyce say? Hold on.
You can scroll up in the chat and go find it, but he's on to something there. Solid skills, they're kind of niche, honestly.
They are kind of niche. You don't see them everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Chat's not typing. They've had plenty of time. And literally, if one person said it and nobody else said anything, I would have been fine with it. But
fuck it and book it.
Yeah.
Shipped our final list.
Clipped and shipped. Honestly, I don't mind this.
I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. Like, you know what? Oreos in Arizona, like for me, when you're going to pick an S tier, you need the classics.
Dude, I'm not even going to lie. When I showed this to Apollo, he put Oreos in D. He put Oreos in D. The disrespect.
Oh my. Oh my.
I could see it, but I can't at the same time. Well, like Oreos to me, they slap.
Oreos do slap.
I mean? They do slap.
Yeah, he put them in D. So clip it, ship it, on to the next. I believe what's our next? We've been on this for so long, I can't even remember what's next. Oh wait, yes,
Boyce time.
It's the Boyce interview.
Yup.
Well, welcome back to our faces after you got to see a quick look at the tier cams. Well, you know what? I'll toss things over then. It's our season finale. We had to bring 2 interviews your way. My goodness. Fuel Report record, longest interview. It's with one of the most known members of the Fuel community. It's Boyce, the manager, the player, the Valorant guy. Let's step on over to our interview with Boyce. It was a great one.
Not the coach.
Not the coach.
Just like when we had some player issues that had to be.
Welcome to another segment of the Fuel Report. We have one hell of an interview for you this week. I'm joined by none other than our Valorant manager, coach, and player, Boyce. I'm also joined by my co-hosts, Mins and CJ. Guys, how are you doing today?
You looking at me, CJ?
I'm doing all right. It's a bit of a rainy, dreary day. Not that you guys can see outside. We're recording this day before you're going to see this air, so tomorrow, and it's absolutely disgusting outside. It's been a bit of a midday, but on the plus side, got to spend some time with my co-host Nightflash here, which was nice. A little bit of a change of pace, so decent, I guess. Alex,
you know what? I take an hour drive to get in here for these podcasts, and yeah, today my tire was actually low, so I had to sit out in the rain and actually pump it up. That was not a fun time, but you know what? You kind of have to do what you got to do sometimes. But I know, CJ, you called me and you're like, are you here yet? Are you coming here yet? And I just could feel it coming from that phone call as well. Because, I was trying to rush and get my way over.
Yeah, no, I was kicking it with CJ today, and this guy looks over at me at 4:45. We're supposed to film the interview at 5:15. He goes, "Yeah, Mins hasn't left yet," and I just started laughing. And you know what? It is what it is. We're here now. We're getting it done, and we're joined by Boyce. Boyce, we just talked about our day. How's your day going, man?
Well, I kind of on the same page as you guys. I kind of sat here for half an hour before everyone got here, just chatting with Nightflash, waiting for everybody. I've literally done nothing. I have been enjoying the off season and just playing Rust for the last 4 hours today out of boredom. Nothing else.
That's completely fair. It's all you can ask for in these little interludes between the seasons. And honestly, for anybody who's done an interview on the Fuel Report, you're already plenty aware. We like our pre-game chit-chat. So, chat with Nightflash and the rest of the crew is just sort of part of your pre-game prep process. But I guess I'll dive into the nitty-gritty, hit you with an actual question here. Valorant, like you said, we're on the off season. Your season has wrapped up. How was the season as a whole, as you're so entrenched in our Valorant program in general?
I mean, just for the perspective of the main roster, we kind of just went into the season like expecting, okay, we might not do good. We didn't know where we were going to get placed. We had Swarns, we had Toasty. We didn't know if he'd be able to play or not, and he comes in halfway through the season after we lost Elko. And I'm not disappointed. Obviously, we could have done a lot better. I think we had a chance to do better, but no one was really upset with how it ended. And for the other teams, like it's whatever. Like, Academy didn't make it to playoffs. Rising went out first round. It was a season where we lost our entire main roster except for Alco. We had one guy left, and I at the start of the season didn't even want to play. I just played because they decided that we didn't really have anyone else that we wanted. So, considering all of that, not that bad.
You know what? I have a lot of respect for the position you have for being that manager for Fuel Valorant, because I myself, I always questioned it, and I'm always just curious on this side as well, as you have to sort of manage in behind for the Fuel Rising, the Fuel Academy, and the main Fuel, and then on top of it, you're actually playing for the Fuel team too. How is it just managing? What is kind of going through just a normal day for that?
I mean, this semester was like pretty much nothing to do. Everyone just kind of did their own thing. Like, it would be a lot harder. Like, when I look at it from like a perspective not collegiate, like none of our teams actually practiced. I've maybe booked a couple scrims for Academy the whole season. None of them actually practiced. The schedules just did not work for any team. So there wasn't really much for me to do other than like the first 2 weeks just getting matches sorted. There was a couple problems we had where maybe I had to talk to admins. It's not a lot. Like, it might sound like a lot, but this semester it was not. Last semester was worse, like when we had some player issues that had to be resolved. Didn't really have anything like that this semester, thankfully. So it wasn't a lot, actually. Just kind of making sure everyone was actually able to show up.
Going through like the tryout sessions, though, you kind of have to overview everything on that. How do you feel like sort of maybe seeing someone that's like, oh, they could be making it for like the field main team, but you sort of have to put them down to the academy team? How, like, is that such a struggle to get into that sort of mindset to be like, I need to make these hard decisions?
I mean, yeah, tryouts was annoying, but like I've done it enough times that I've kind of just acknowledged like, okay, I can't make everybody happy, and there's going to be people that are upset with me regardless. There was going to be either way. It's like there's always going to be people that think they deserve the spot, and obviously I'm not going to name names. There's a lot of people that think that they deserve the spot, and to be blunt, most of the time you probably don't. But if you can prove it to me, then sure. We gave a bunch of people a shot on the main roster for my spot because I wasn't wanting to play at the beginning, and I was trialing people to take my spot. And after we had Alec and Alco, Swarns, and, oh my god, Akimbo, we wanted someone to replace me, and we're like, okay, we'll try a bunch of people, see how it goes. And at the end, just like, yeah, no, just stay. We gave them a shot, and I didn't want to take it. So I know I had some people actually say, like, people were saying that I was keeping the spot, like, for myself because it was my decision. I wanted to leave. I did not want to do that. I just did it for the sake of, so we had someone. So we could be, like, the best that we had.
Well, you know what? When it comes down to sports, esports, anything in life, you kind of got to go with the best pick available, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It might not be perfect, it might not be ideal, and on the field report in general, we talk so much about synergy, and you could have a 1A guy who's capable of going on a burner, for example, but he just doesn't fit with the team, doesn't fit with the play style, and then you might have more of a 2B supporting guy who maybe might not have the same gun skill or something, but just fits so much better, plays the role more crucially, and that's some of the foresight that an average esport player just might miss out on, and that might be an insight and a perspective you've gained through your manyest roles here at the Fuel. I want to take things in a slightly different direction. You talked about how you had a really new roster coming into this year. Looking into next year, it already looks like you might not get a Swarns back. You had an Alco step away in the middle of the year. How's the team looking going into next year?
I have zero clue. I have no idea. Slip and Sustain are supposed to come back. So that's two guys that will probably just have that off the bat because they've been there previously. Akimbo probably coming back. Alec is actually going to Western, so we can't keep him anymore. I didn't know that until like last week. Oh. So we really only need 2 spots. Again, I'm not planning on playing, at least not for the main roster, because I've got other stuff going on I got to focus on. but we'll see who we got. I know I had a lot of people from the open houses and people that have messaged me that are really talented, and like other people that have like tier 3 pro experience that are coming, whether they did good or not doesn't really matter, it's still experience. Really just got to see who comes in the fall, because it could be really good, it could be the exact same thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, and that's a lot of esports around here. You get new blood in the fall, and the whole roster can change, or it can just stay completely the same. So I guess my next question is going to be sort of how do you think that esports clubs, especially collegiate ones, can sort of maintain success when you have such a high turnover rate of students? Every year more and more students graduate, more and more students leave. So in your eyes, what do you think the solution to that is?
I mean, if you look in like the U.S., the way the U.S. does, they just throw money at everybody. Anyone that's remotely decent, they're just like, here's $2,000, $3,000 scholarship. The difference is for them, their tuitions are like $60,000, and that's obviously going to help a lot towards that. Obviously, we can't do that, but for us, we kind of just have to go with what we have. We have a lot to offer, and most of it is just you have to make sure that you're showcasing what you have to offer as a program, so you still have that intake of talent, rather than just hoping that someone shows up, because there is obviously a big player base for games like Valorant and everything, but for the smaller games or like games that are less popular now, if you're not promoting that to people, they're not even, like, there's probably players here at Fanshawe that are really good, and they just don't even know we exist, or they just don't care, because they don't know what we offer. And a lot of other college programs all over North America, they suck at promoting, like, what they offer, or they just have nothing to offer in the first place.
Going into that as well, though, like you're saying, they just keep dishing all this money into it. I guess maybe this is a little bit of the side door onto this, but I don't know too much about this, but I have seen it sort of happen in Call of Duty that, well, yes, there was that ringing that was going on, but players do kind of get poached around. And I'm just curious on Valorant for maybe even Fuel, but have you even heard of any sort of players getting poached to any teams?
I mean, like, sorry, do you mean from collegiate to a pro team, or like college teams just paying people to come play for them?
College teams, yeah.
So you guys know Fisher, obviously, right?
Yes.
So Fisher Navy's Valorant team is literally just Levitate Esports, which is the tier 2 team. It's literally the exact same team.
Really?
It's the exact same. It's the same roster. They play collegiate events under Fisher, and then every other thing they're under Levitate.
And what are like the rules behind that?
Nothing. They're all students. They live in the Fisher dorms. They all live in the Fisher dorms. They all go to class. It's literally just, like, if you have the scholarships and they all want to go, what's stopping you? Maryville. You guys know Maryville, right? Mm-hmm. They just signed it's literally like they went through the VLR listings of just people that weren't on an active roster and just picked the top 5 from the stats list. And that's their Val team now. I can't even remember the names. I know they got a couple people I've met before, but it was all like pros that took a step back because they when the franchise league came out, a lot of people stepped down because you couldn't really keep going in the tier 2 scene without some kind of support. So Maryville's just like, hey, you wanted support, we'll give you. They gave them all full rides and said, just come play so you can keep playing. There's nothing explicitly wrong with that because they're all students. Like, they're not just paying them and taking an online course. Like, they're all moving to Maryville, staying in dorms. I don't really know of anything, like, because not a lot of places are still doing the online stuff where it's like just pay to take 2 courses. You can't really get away with that. CVAL verification's pretty good to avoid that too, so I don't really know any issues like that. But there's a lot of colleges that just sign pro players. Northwood too.
Yeah, and I want to hop in on that, and because you know what, Alex, it's an interesting point for you to bring up, and I'll just sort of toss this perspective in there as well. When you look at Apex, you know what I mean? It's this exact sort of scene where just by how those leagues are formatted, where they don't want those collegiate exclusive leagues going down, you can have pro players leaking in. You could have anybody sort of coming to join, you know what I mean? So ultimately, I just feel like for the purist of your esports watchers, they might not be a big fan of having those high-level competition because, collegiate and professional across sports and esports, they are seen as sort of 2 separate entities, and now we're sort of seeing this mixing and mashing potential here throughout multiple various esports. So for me, I don't actually have a personal opinion on the benefits, the negatives, but I just feel like it's an interesting thing that we're seeing more of now.
Yeah, I just don't really kind of get my like whole standing around it, just because I know like I guess this is like the high school base, but like when you had like rep players or very more like on the professional end players, they were not really able to play for high school sort of teams. And I just don't know if that rule should kind of play out for esport players too. And especially even just in the like college sort of level, that they're here, they play at such a high professional level. What kind of gives them the rights to play against some of these college players that, you know what, like they're just trying to do this just to have some fun and play in a league that they might not be able to reach to a professional level?
You know what, Minz? I completely agree with you on that point. I actually have very strong feelings about this topic, especially like not so much in NECC or NACE, but in something like CVAL or CCL or CLOL, where you're competing for a prize pool. Like CCL's prize pool this year was $45K, which like in theory, like in the esports world, is not a lot of money, right? Like we see tournaments for $1 million+ nowadays, but for a college student, $45K can go a long way. Even split, 4 ways, 5 ways. Well, for COD it would be 4. But yeah, no, I think that having because everybody always says like, oh, we should treat esports like real sports, right? Like that's what we're pushing for. That's what we're pushing for. But in any real sport, once you go professional, you cannot go back down to the NCAA or, at a college level. And also, these players that are on full ride scholarships for esports, right, which I am completely fine with, but no other league are you competing for money. No actual, like, college sport are you competing for a cash prize or the XYZ. You're competing for bragging rights. You're competing for a ring. You're competing to sort of represent your school and show your pride. And yeah, do you get a free education because you're extremely talented? Yes, but at the end of the day, you're not putting any money directly in your pocket. You might get that NFL contract or that NBA contract, but you yourself are not actually like earning money from playing at a collegiate level, or you're not supposed to be. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts are on that.
No,
I'm just really curious, like boys, like your thoughts about it. Just because, like, no offense to Swarns whatsoever. I guess he just is one of those players that he went into a high competitive league to play against, and there was times that I overheard that like he was more focusing on his other team that he was on for his league instead of actually looking at the field team. Like I just feel like, there's players like Big Homie and Slippery that have shown great strides on coming out to play for the field team. And I was just curious to hear about your thoughts for it.
I want to touch on the one thing you said. You said when you like go to the NFL or NBA, you can't go back to the NCAA. Is that an actual rule?
Yes.
That's an actual thing.
Yeah,
I
it
had
is.
no idea that was an actual thing.
Yeah, when you go pro, like you are absolutely done. And you don't have to even be NBA. Like if you play overseas in a European league, like any professional league, you're done.
Okay, but here's where I think that switches. Like when you go pro in the NFL, like what's the average age of an NFL NBA pro? Like what is the age of that? Like all of them are going to be over like 19, 20 mostly, right? What is the average age of these guys that are competing like tier 3? Like think Zekin on Sentinels, the kid's 17 in high school. That's a tier 1 pro in a franchise league, and he's 17. So if he gets cut from Sentinels because he played when he was 17, that he wouldn't be allowed to go play for if Northwood, which obviously the guy's a franchise tier 1 player, he would get a full ride scholarship to any school in the U.S. There's zero question about that. And even the players that are on full ride scholarships, 90% of the players that are on scholarships would not cut it in even tier 2. They would not. No. They would not make the disconnect between like tier 1 professional in Val and CS and stuff like that compared to the top highest level of college is massive. Like in those like Northwood players, just because I will use them because they're the world champions. They have 2 players, like Mocking was like one of the best IGLs in North America, and that was a common thing in tier 2. But even him, like has never been on a franchise team before, probably wouldn't make a franchise team. But all those players, why would we exclude them from that? Especially if it's a young player, I would understand if it was like a tier 1 professional league. But the people we're talking about, like even Swarns, yeah, Swarns is a really good player. He's playing like tier 3, tier 2 professional. And it's not like his team's kicking ass either. No disrespect to Swarns. I love the guys on that team. They're really good. But I don't think it's a fair comparison when we talk about like the age group of it specifically, and also what we consider pro in the NBA. Like, what's the percentage of going? Like, it's like 0.001% of people compared to how many people can compete in a tier 3 pro league that's open with a $25 buy-in.
It's fair. That's fair.
Very different.
That's a fair point. I think my just biggest thing, like you brought up the 17-year-old on the Sentinels. I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, but you said we would, like, if he got dropped, would we exclude him, right? Like, and I think in that case, like, I honestly do believe this, that, like, yes, he should be excluded from a CC or like a competitive league in collegiate. You know, obviously he's playing for a team and he's getting his bag. Like, kid's 17, he's probably on what, like a $90,000 contract a year.
More.
Yeah,
More.
Like,
definitely more.
so, you know,
Minimum contract in the franchise league is $50K a year. That's the bare minimum, and no one's getting the minimum.
Yeah, so having, like, you know, good for him, right? The kid's getting his bag, and I respect that. You know what? Like, get your bread, make it. But like at that point, right? Giving him a full ride scholarship is kind of like null and void. If he's making over $50K a year, right? We briefly talked.
It's also taken away from maybe a younger or up-and-coming player who hasn't had that opportunity, that exposure. Like, for me, I guess the best way, sorry to jump you off, but the best way I could describe it is when you have these guys that have established an ability to thrive and find success at the highest level, you need to leave the door open and keep those development pipelines on, because you never know. A guy could hit college, get a season, and then turn it up coming out of college, and it's just, do you really want to lose that seat and opportunity for someone else? And I see it both ways. You know, you're right, boys. They're young, and why stop them? And there is really no super fair reason you could say to stop them. But before we continue this conversation, you know, for those of you who are watching this on the Field Report tomorrow, feel free to dive into the Twitch chat, give your take on college and pros playing in at the college level, and we can discuss it a bit when we come out the back end of the interview. But for me, it's just, I don't feel like we'll ever be able to get a sort of definitive answer on this question.
Can I just jump in and just make one more counterpoint on that? Is like, when you think like scholarships, like people will get scholarships if they're like really smart, they're good at math, like some kind of academic scholarship. Are you giving that person a scholarship because they're already good at something, or because you want to develop them?
That's fair.
Like, you're not going to give a scholar if someone's already really good. You've got some kid genius, like I was thinking of a name and I lost it already. But you've got some kid genius. You're giving them a scholarship because they're a kid genius, not because, oh yeah, we can make this kid smarter. There's 100 people that would fit that bill. And just the whole, like, leaving the door open, this just happened one of my players that I used to coach, Gen G signed them. And Gen G, like the APAC team, they have a North American Game Changers team. And they signed a bunch of really young players that don't really have a lot of experience, not that good individually, and they signed all of them to contracts. They have like an 8-man roster, and a bunch of them are all really young, like. And I can probably name like 30 plus players that are better than all of them that deserve that spot more than them. And when they signed that team, everyone was having a meltdown because they're like, there's so many better players. There's so many better teams you could have picked up. Why would you do this? And I get that point, but at the same time, people love to say, oh my God, actually, another great point. You know, Disguised?
Yeah.
Disguised Toast.
Yes.
He started his own org, and they were signing a Game Changers team, and they've signed a bunch of streamers and one pro player to lead them, like Kaide and Quarter Jade. They were all playing. People were losing their minds about that, saying, oh, I'm better than them. We deserve that opportunity more. And just to go off that point, if you deserved it, why aren't you there? Like, they should be taking what's best for them, right? Mm-hmm. And if a school is going to throw money at someone, they want what's best for them, not someone that they have potential, but they're not there yet. Why would you get that when there's someone that's already literally the best you can get?
Yeah, I guess I can see it from both ways, you know. For instance, you brought up a kid genius getting a scholarship. I think it's a little bit of both. You know, yes, they're already a genius, right? They already have that basic sort of knowledge. And it could be, obviously, if they're getting a full ride scholarship for mathematics or science or whatever it may be, it's past a basic knowledge, right? Like, you're clearly thinking, okay, this guy could be the next Einstein or the next Isaac Newton or whatever, right? But I think the reason that you offer them a full ride scholarship is partially because, yes, they're already a genius and they make your school really good, but I also think that it's, the school will have a good impact on this person, They will, certain profs will be able to sort of activate this person into becoming who they're meant to be or who they can be. So I think it's a little bit of both, and I don't know. I think we should sort of lay this topic to rest as just sort of open-ended. Let the chat discuss. But I think I can see both sides. I think that if we want esports to be taken seriously, I think that we should treat it more like the NCAA or whatever, instead of saying, oh yeah, you were in your bag playing pro. Like I can name a few professional COD players who dropped down and then went and played for Bay State, and then Fisher bought them out. You have Silly from LAG. That was massive news. You know what? Silly dropped down from the CDL, didn't want to play in Challengers because Challengers is a joke. Came and played in the CCL where there's a cash prize. I can't remember if they won or not, but that's not really the point. You know what? You were signed on a franchise team in your bag because just like Valorant contracts, COD contracts are blown through the roof. Mm-hmm. And now you're getting a full ride scholarship, so you're not spending any of that money, right? And you're competing to put more money in your pocket and take it out of, potentially a college student who could actually really use at that point, I think their prize pool was $30K or whatever, but could use that money to further themselves in life while you don't need it, and it really comes down to sort of like people being greedy at that point.
Plus, I don't know. I think it gives some players some false hope then, because they're playing onto this Fuel Academy team, for example, and they see this main Fuel team that they want to play on. They want to get to that team. They're grinding so hard on the Fuel Academy. They're working to try and get to that Fuel level, that Fuel varsity level. But all of a sudden, they're just grabbing people from a higher professional level and just bringing them onto the team or something. For a prime example, it gives them false hope then that these players, it's like, wow, will I ever get the chance to actually play on our main field team? It just kind of just brings it into a separate, maybe league almost, exactly what we were sort of saying with NCAA. Yeah. So.
No. Absolutely. And, I guess we'll leave it up to the chat to decide on that one. I have a fresh direction for us to head in this conversation here. Boyce, I'd argue you're one of the most known members in Fuel overall. How did you even get started here? What was your introduction to Fuel? How did you end up in the position you're in now?
I just finished. This is my third year. I just finished my third year at Fanshawe. I've been part of Fuel since I got here. It would have been the fall of 2020 was when I started here. And it was I was playing Counter-Strike for Fuel way back. I was playing with Ugo Splata, actually, the current CS captain, and Jace. I don't even know if you guys would remember Jace Prime KJ. It was the old Val captain when I first started playing Val, but I played CS with him forever ago. Played that for 2 semesters, and then was pretty burnt out. That was right when Val was releasing, so it was a new game. I tried it a little bit, and then Jace convinced me to start trying Val. I'm like, okay, man, sure, because I had a bunch of friends that were playing it, so I started playing it. And I'm like, this is kind of fun. I don't think I touched Counter-Strike for the next year and a half. Just didn't touch the game. And I just started playing Val because I was enjoying it. Never really took it seriously. And then Jace was just like, yo, we don't have a Val team at Fanshawe. Let's start one. We at least have a CS background. I was dog shit at Val. I was so bad our first semester. All of us were. The team was we were in Challengers, but back then Challengers, even though it was the second tier, it was awful. It was so bad because it was such a new thing that it wasn't really grown yet compared to how it is now, where it never should have happened. I think I was actually like silver the first semester we played. I started out in silver when we first started playing because we had no one else. And then I stuck with that. Jace left, and I kind of just stayed. Second semester, we played, and then when we came back, that was when we had Dakota and Seth, and we put them on the roster, and I kind of took a backseat, and I was playing with the Tier 2 team. Didn't feel like doing that anymore for a multitude of reasons, and then I just kind of, I don't know, I'd always just been the captain of the T1 team, and when I got a back seat, I'd kind of just stayed and kept running things behind the scenes so people could focus, and it's kind of it. I just stuck around. I just kept doing what I had to do, whatever needed to be done, and
you said it shouldn't have happened with, Silver's ripping Valorant there in that initial semester, but for me, I would say it's almost a unique opportunity. You know what I mean? That's why I love having 2 teams, 3 teams, because it's those guys that, may never have had the opportunity to get their toes in the water that, could have developed, because you know what? You get that experience, you get that adrenaline rush of playing. It doesn't matter if you get rolled every game, because at the end of the day, you've gotten that taste, you've gotten that experience, and at minimum, for at least some players, that's going to be some additional motivation for you to come back and do more. And you know what? Ultimately, look at you now. You know what I mean? You're playing on Team 1, much to the chagrin of yourself, but you're so immersed and involved in the Fuel community at this point that clearly it all worked out for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, even back then we only had one team, so it was there was nowhere to pull from. It was the first time we had it, and it was kind of just we wanted to play for the sake of playing. So I was buddies with Jace. Back then, that was when Slip started playing too. I don't remember if you guys remember C-Boy. He was there too. I don't even think Mins might have been around for C-Boy.
Yeah, I was around for C-Boy. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The original
OG.
Mins and Daddis Valcasts. what a show that was. I still remember the one clip, and I know this is how I know that you were around for C-Boy, because this is 100% we were playing with C-Boy. Me, Slip, C-Boy, Jace, and I don't know why I can't remember who our 5th was. Might have been Curve.
It could have
I
been Curve.
remember it was like a 1v3. I think I was in a 1v3 and with Spike Planet, and I won after the spike went off, and you just kind of go and that's going to be the end of the round, and then dead air for 5 seconds. You go, oh wait, they won. And you just didn't even realize that.
Honestly, at the start of productions, man, it was wild because I had to observe and then make sure I was transitioning to different scenes as well. And there were so many times Battis, he didn't know Valorant that much, so I had to do so much by myself to figure things out, and that was one of the best moments because I was not completely focused on the game whatsoever, and then I just saw you snuck it in, and I was like, hold up. They are winning this.
The original Mins and Battis casts were a sight to behold.
But I heard the original Mins and Battis Rocket League casts were a little legendary. That's what I've been told. That's all I'm saying out here.
Oh, I always just took such a left turn with the Rocket League casting, because I didn't know the game that well, but I understood this. Yeah, I understood soccer. I understood the style of how Rocket League was really being played, but naming things how Rocket League how they actually name it, I was not the greatest at. Battis was more on that side, so I just kind of filled in with other commentating stuff. But I know our other producers, they questioned me a lot, but I don't know. I think people liked it, so I just kept with it.
I mean, you know what? Look at where we are now. So clearly, you did something right. Otherwise, the Fuel wouldn't be where we are. We're talking about the past here, and I would be remiss to bring this up because I would feel like I missed my opportunity. Boys, do you watch the Fuel Report?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I work weekends, and you always do the broadcast while I'm working, so I can't watch it live most of the time. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay, did you see the episode where me and Reader went at it over some clips?
Maybe?
Okay.
What were the clips?
It was between a 15-second ace that I got in Valorant beta, and you got, I think you got a 4K on Icebox.
Oh, it was me walking through the Viper wall.
Yes.
I did see that episode.
Okay, I have to ask, how, Reader kind of shredded me on my 15-second ace. What is your opinion on it as our in-house professional?
I don't remember the clip.
Okay, all right, well.
I don't remember the clip.
You know what?
I feel like maybe I saw it, but I cannot remember what happened. I can't remember what it looked like.
It was a
I
bit
have
of
no
a,
idea.
It was an Omen TP onto that, junk pile on Haven, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea. I
Okay.
don't remember the clip.
All right, never mind then.
I only wish he remembered it just so he could have been like, are you really going to make me discredit you right here, right now, live in a segment?
You know what? Anything Reader says, I take with a grain of salt. But coming from somebody who actually coaches a Game Changers team, or used to, as you don't currently have a team to coach, is a manager for Fuel Valorant. I'm sorry, I've got voice in tears here. Manager for Fuel Valorant, T1 player, and also the Valorant coach. You know what?
Everyone, Reader does this every stream and says, the player, coach, and manager. I don't do that. I haven't done that in a year.
Okay.
I haven't worked with any team other than the one that I was on in a year.
All right, player and manager.
I've just let it slide until now. I've just never said anything.
There you go. Well, you heard it here first. He's not the coach. Player and manager, I would take the smoke from him gladly.
Whoa, hold on now. No, okay, yeah, I'll let you finish that point there. That's fair to take the smoke from there. I can't, drop that comment and not pick it up instantly, though. What's your interest level in a sort of coaching role?
I mean, I just, obviously I want to coach. I just was doing it with a different team. So our teams don't practice. So there's not really much for me to do. So in theory, yeah, I am. In practice, I have done absolutely nothing. I've maybe sat in a couple calls with the academy team just to talk about things. Actually, Slippery was the one that was working with them mostly this semester, just because he wasn't a student. But yeah, I did nothing this semester because no one practiced.
Fair enough.
In theory, I am. Just didn't actually do anything.
It still blows my mind that you guys don't practice whatsoever. I mean, I just feel like if you guys are wanting to try and achieve to get to some sort of top end level for Fuel, you would probably want to try and put a little bit of practice in. I mean, we were just talking about with just even just NBA, NFL, they all go to practice. They do the practicing.
Yeah, they get a fine if they don't.
Yeah.
We don't Fuel players, there's a fine coming.
You're preaching to the choir right now. It's not that I didn't want to. It's just that we didn't.
No.
It's not that no one wanted to. We just didn't.
You know what? These changes might come over time, but thinking about changes, though, we were talking a bit about the past, about everything that was sort of changing along, though. I'm just curious more about you boys. For here being at Fuel, you are taking programs here at Fanshawe. What has kind of some of the changes been happening within your life from maybe things that sparked from happening at Fuel for programs that you're in right now?
I mean, Fuel is where I started in gaming and esports, everything. I never really took anything seriously before I got here. Obviously, that was 3 years ago. I never really even considered anything like that until I got here and I started working with people like Tyler and everyone else here. So I guess everything I've done in esports kind of stemmed from here, but it's really hard to say where things started, because obviously I was coaching with YFP for a while. I'm still with them, but we're not currently coaching. I've gotten opportunities that have all stemmed from here. I've met a lot of people that I've really liked to meet. I met a lot of creators. I was just gone to a bunch of LANs. I'm going to one next week in Chicago. I was just in Toronto on Wednesday talking with the creator of Juvie, the 100 Thieves energy drink. I got to have a good conversation with people like that. I've just gotten to meet a lot of people. A lot of people, and even I was actually, when I was at the last Toronto LAN, I went there and I had my jersey on. This was before we had the Fuel jersey. I had my Falcon jersey on. And the CEO or owner, I don't even remember what his title is, one of the guys that runs Toronto Serenity, which is the company that runs the TVAL LANs, I had spoken to him once, and he just comes up behind me. He's like, "Yo, what's up, big man?" I'm like, "Oh, yo, what's going on?" And I got to chat with him. Didn't think the guy would ever recognize me, but I guess he knew Fanshawe, and he'd seen stuff with that. Because I work outside of Fanshawe, the shoppers on Adelaide and Oxford, I went in there to do my route with Coca-Cola, and the cashier recognizes me from here.
Oh, that's the
No
weirdest.
way.
That is the weirdest thing.
There's
No
a guy,
way.
I feel bad because I forget his name, but he's the cashier at Best Shoppers. And I swear to God, the first time I went in that store, because I have to sign in with them, he's like, do you go to Fanshawe? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you with Fanshawe Fuel? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think I've seen you. Like, he saw me at an open house before or something. I guess he's an incoming student. And he recognized me from here.
No way.
That's weird. It's weird, but it's cool, right?
Oh, it's so weird, but it's so cool. Big shout out to that guy.
I feel like I'm doxing them. I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I should be saying that because I feel like I'm doxing them now. But
Well,
like,
you're not. You know,
I don't know
we're
what
not
his name
leaking
is.
his
I
name.
just know that guy, whoever that. I feel bad because I forget his name. If you're seeing this, I'm sorry. I'll see him on Thursday anyways when I go there. So
Yeah, and you're a G. But no, I've had people recognize me.
Really?
That's like from like, you know, doing an Overwatch stream or a Rainbow Six stream. I had somebody like, I was not even like near campus whatsoever. I was walking in my neighborhood, like down on Commissioners, and I had some like 15-year-old say, "Hey, you cast Rainbow Six for Fanshawe," and I was like, "I'm sorry, what? Like, how do you know that?"
Where'd you find this
Yeah,
information
exactly.
about?
Like, I felt like I was like, do I need to move? Like, am I gonna have like a bunch? Like, is this gonna be like the Phase House in New York? Have people knocking on my door every day? Like, but no, nice kid, and you know, if you're watching this, shout out to you too. I can't remember that kid's name. That was a while ago, but yeah, it was so wild.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we slipped over this a little bit. I feel like we need to know a bit more about this. Coca-Cola, your job.
yeah,
You go around. You just like ship
I just
bunch
drive
of.
around and just put stuff on shelves.
It's a sick
That's
gig.
about it.
Do you get like?
No, I don't get free things. If that's what you're gonna ask.
Yeah.
I don't get a
So-
discount.
Oh come on.
Nothing ever falls off the truck.
No,
Oh.
no. I don't drive the truck. I just meet the truck there. It's already there. If it falls off the truck, I don't get to see it.
No, unfortunate.
It's already fallen off by the time I get there.
Unfortunate.
So that's all that you just are doing.
Yeah.
And like, is it just like certain destinations, or is there like?
Usually the same stores every week, just because it's consistent. I can go like anywhere. We do like everywhere from Sarnia to like Brampton is its own place, and they go like Brampton and north. So we're like up to like Brantford-ish, KW maybe. I don't actually know where we cut off north side, but we go all the way to Sarnia.
Brampton.
That's actually a pretty big radius.
That's
Yeah.
dude. That's like
There's got a lot. There's a lot of people. You gotta think how big Coca-Cola is
That's
and how
like-
many people they have everywhere.
So do you have like a bit of like insiders on like new flavors that come before people, like when it like hits the shelves?
Like maybe a day or two warning.
Day or two? Okay, like
Would I be
Coca-Cola
allowed to
vanilla.
speak of it? No. So if you're asking questions, don't bother.
Oh, come on.
redacted. It's redacted.
We can pretend I did, and Apollo can just bleep out the next 6 words I say and just pretend that I'm telling you something right now, and no one would ever know, right?
Yo, boys, I gotta ask. Actually, we're on the topic of drinks here, right? And this, we're doing a little thing.
Yeah.
Drinks later. That's gonna come later. I heard somebody say that you were pounding back a Naruto drink while you were working the desk. You apparently you
Working
had.
the desk. That was during the quarterfinals match.
Okay, whatever. What was the drink? I'm
G
so.
Fuel.
Oh, okay.
It was. There's a gas station in Pond Mills that sells like the American cans of G Fuel. Don't think they're allowed to, but like, they have a bunch
Logan,
of
bleep
the.
it out.
They have a bunch of the cans. That you can't because you can't order them to Canada. You can
know.
only get them in the U.S. And I didn't. That's just what was on it. It was called like Sage Mode or something. I've never had it.
Was it good?
No, not really.
G Fuel.
It
Step it up.
It tasted like.
Spicy ramen.
No, I'm trying to think how to describe it. Yep, you know how like peaches and tangerines are not. Oh my god, peaches and what am I thinking about? What? There's another fruit that looks like a peach. Is it a tangerine?
Nectarine.
Nectarine. You ever think you're biting a peach and you bite into a nectarine? That's how I would describe that drink tasting like.
Oh.
Like I thought I was getting something, and then I feel like I got lied to.
Okay. Fair. So you didn't feel like you went into sage mode?
No. I don't even know what that. I don't watch Naruto. I don't know what that means.
Fair enough.
It was just the name on the can.
Fair enough.
It was okay, but it's also a lot more caffeine than I ever need.
Well, I thought Nightflash was going to do a little bit of a peek into our tier list section and ask you a question based off of that. But I'm not going to give him the opportunity. But I am going to ask you a Fuel Report interview classic. Favorite game of all time?
Oh, you're stealing it from me. Okay.
All time.
Can it be any genre?
Any genre. Game, like
single player, competitive.
What's that old game, Nintendo Dogs or whatever? Was that what it's called?
Nintendo Dogs. It was really called Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, on the DS.
Yeah. It can literally be anything.
Oh my god. The original. Okay, this is so hard because I've played so many different kinds of games. If I want to say like a classic game, I'm gonna give two because I'm split between two. The original Star Wars Battlefront 2, not the one that was made, the PlayStation 2 one from like 2009.
I
have the Steam version of it, and I can like play it from time to time. I have a working copy and a working PS2 that I can still play it on.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And so that was the game I played relentlessly when I was a kid. Not classic game. This is a really weird one. War Thunder, solely because from like the time I was like 12 to 17, I was in Air Cadets and I wanted to be a pilot, and I have flown a ridiculous amount of sim hours, and that was what I played it all the time.
Honestly, I loved War Thunder growing up, so like I love that pick. Honestly, love both your picks. It's like such a different elk than the responses we've gotten. Love it. Love it. At least I actually know these games. Apollo could literally strip together every single interview, and it's like, what's your favorite game? Bob goes such and such, and I'm looking there like, what the hell is such and such? And it's just been week in and out of that. So to hear games I've heard of before, bravo, love it.
Yeah, I have like 3,000 hours on War Thunder.
Oh my goodness.
3,000 hours.
I don't have, even Counter-Strike, I have like 1,600, and I've been playing since like 2015.
Oh my god.
That's a perfect segment to my next
That's magnificent, though.
League of Legends hours played.
Oh, neither do I. I don't want to look at my League of Legends or especially
Destiny,
yeah.
That game has soaked up way too much of my life. Now, I've got a kind of a similar question. It's another fun one. It's one of my podcast favorites. I'm not going to let you steal this one because CJ stole yours. I'm hopping on this real quick.
CJ stole mine.
Favorite, you know what? I'll go top 5 Val and CS skins.
Ooh.
Like 5 of each, or just
No, just 5. You get 5.
None of them are going to be a Val skin.
Okay.
None of them are going to be a Val skin. It's just Counter-Strike skins. Top 2, and I can't pick ones. Both ops, the Op Gungnir and Op Dragonlore.
There you go.
And they're both ridiculously expensive. M9 Doppler, not Sapphire. I have a Phase 4, and that's why it's my favorite. And it actually looks like a Sapphire on Counter-Strike 2 now, the new Source 2 engine. I don't know what the hell they're doing with the rendering for Doppler patterns, but it's stupid. AK-47 Vulcan, which is a weird one, because it's not that, like, crazy. It's just another skin I've had for a really long time. Op Fade, 5th. Actually, no, I lied. Karambit Marble Fade, the Fire and Ice one, just the red and blue one.
Respectable.
Which is just another... I think that Valorant skins are overrated and overpriced for what they are. I don't think... I can't think of a single Valorant skin that is like, this is an absolute banger, I love everything they've done with this, other than maybe, and not because of the skin, just because of how the sound design is, the Prime set.
Oh.
I buy Val skins for the sound design, not for the visual.
I've got the Prime Vandal.
I have like both full sets, just because the sound design. I don't give a shit what the visual is on the skin. I just like how it sounds.
There you go.
If it sounds like garbage, I won't buy it.
It's all about the preference at that point.
Honestly, I just love when there was like such a big moment going around, like when people were like buying skins and stuff. It was like supposedly it was giving you better auto aim or something, or like aim assist.
People thought it had, and this is an actual thing. Some of them do more visible tracers, is what some people say, because it's not an actual thing. It's like a kind of a pseudo effect, I guess, because it looks like it's different because the muzzle effect is different, but it's really not. The only thing I would say, like the Blast X set, you can see darts on the wall where it hit.
That's sick.
Oh yeah.
But like that's not that's not like a bonus. Like, it's not a pay to win kind of thing. It's literally just it looks cool, so people like it. Like, you couldn't tell the difference when you're shooting someone across the site. You can't see the darts anyways. It doesn't make a difference.
It's just always been such a funny theory. Like when I've heard people about it, it's like, oh, if you buy these skins, you'll probably be a better player because it's going to help you out with your aim assist and stuff. And it's just like, what?
Skins equals wins, dude. Didn't you know
Skins
that?
equal wins. Okay.
That's why I've spent more than my tuition on Counter-Strike.
No, you haven't. Boys, no, you haven't.
I don't remember the exact number.
We're getting leaks here.
I will give you the whole. This is not including Val. This is only. I don't even know if I can pull this up on my phone. I don't know if it'll let me.
Just ballpark it.
Many.
Like my total. Okay, I don't know exactly how much of it was spent on CS. My total Steam withdrawn from PayPal is in 5 figures.
Oh my.
5 figures?
And it's not like barely 5 figures either.
Like, are we talking like, okay. So like, you say barely 5 figures. So are we talking like,
I don't mean,
$10-11.
I'm not scraping 10K. Like it's a decent amount over.
Are you breaking like, is that number starting with a 2?
Kieran, I just love you just turned into like a whole financial advisor into this.
Is that number
You're like, hold
turned
up,
into
we
a
need to
2?
talk about
I
this.
don't think so.
Is it
I
close?
don't think so. Define close.
Like,
it's a lot it's closer to 2 than it is to 1.
I'm okay. So like, it could then it could be like a 16.
I think it's 16 or 17 something.
Oh my god, that
Okay,
hurts my
listen.
soul.
But you have to think, I've also sold like over $12,000 of skins, and I still like my account is still worth like $5,000.
Boys,
That's also including all the games I have.
You realize that you've spent more on.
I have spent more on Steam than I have my tuition in the last 3 years.
No. You've spent more on Steam than my car is worth.
Yep.
No. I can't, like, I don't know if I can indulge this question line any further.
I don't know.
Or else we're going to take Nightflash and Alex out over here in the corner. That's a lot. But you know what? I get, like, there's a bit of a business to Steam. You know what I mean? It's like you got your shoe flippers who have probably spent an ungodly amount in shoes. But, you know, you get some profit coming back. You got the inherent value of your account as well, but no comment. You know, I spent a little bit of money on League of Legends skins, so it's not like I can talk. I don't know if I'm touching 4 figures, but like, I don't know if I'm touching 3 figures. But I bought some skins, I can say that.
He said 5.
I didn't hear that.
I mean, even Val,
Goodness.
even Valorant, which you can't sell the skins, I've still probably spent close to 1,000
No.
or more.
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't
Oh
hear it.
my.
Yo, boys, can I get a loan since you're Mr. Moneybags over here?
The Counter-Strike stuff was because I look at it the same way as like someone who just like gets like penny stocks and trades it or something like that. Like if you have like a wealth symbol portfolio or something and you're just getting stocks and holding on to it. Like the skins I've had, my knife I've had for 4 years. And I bought my knife for like probably 700 Canadian 4 years ago. And now it's like $2,500. And it was literally, I got it as an investment. That was the whole thing. I'm like, okay, this will probably go up. I didn't expect it to go up that much. But most of the stuff I have is all like, okay, I'm getting this because it'll probably go up in 2 years. And I've held on to it for 2 years.
So when are you selling?
Well, now that CS2 is coming out, probably whenever I stop playing Counter-Strike, which will probably be soon.
So if you want Boyce's knife, bang his line.
Cash value, 2,200 Canadian.
There you
That's
go.
what I'll sell it for.
Oh my lord,
Okay.
it's turning all into
it's a
NF.
phase. I feel like I mentioned I might actually get in trouble for saying this because I remember I was trying to sell it a while ago before it was like 2,200, and I posted in the CS chat, I'm like, yo, does anyone want to buy my knife and gloves? My gloves were like $400 or something. The knife I was selling it for like 1,100, and I wanted to see who wanted it. And Tyler's like, be careful posting that stuff. Like, I don't want it to be like a marketplace. We might get in trouble. So I don't know if I should include this in the stream, but he did maybe cut out the part where we just said that we would sell it for that much.
Hey, I've been trying to sell my knife for like 5 episodes,
Yeah, that's
and
a fact,
I haven't gotten
actually.
in trouble for it. So
Nightflash
I think we're good.
Plug in his knife.
Okay,
By the way,
in
bang
that
my line,
case-
13
In that
hundo.
case, you know where to find me.
Oh my god, it's all turning
I'll
all
keep
into
it in
NFTs.
A little bit of financial fuel report chit chat to end off our segment. Like I hear the top 10s whispering to me in the distance, but before I look to wrap things up, Nightflash, Alex, any last questions for Mr. Boyc here?
No, I'm just surprised how much things are sort of turning into like an NFT.
Actually, I got
God,
one.
it really does sound that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It really does. I have one, though. I can't go into the Fuel server now without seeing your sticker
Yep.
popping
Which one? Because
everywhere.
there's 3 of them.
All of them. You take your pick. Either the JoJo hat, the cat ears, or just the JoJo hat unedited. You know what? At some point, it's got to feel good to be a meme, but at the same time, does that how does that affect you? Do you wake up, check the Fuel server, see all the boy stickers, and you're like, let's go. That's some premium gas.
I see Tyler's Good Morning Gamers, and then everything else is just my face. It makes people recognize me more.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
true.
People see me everywhere. I guess it helps. I literally, just about the cat ears thing, because I put that on my Twitter too, was that I posted the screenshot of the general chat just filled with my face with cat ears on it. I was filling scrims for someone, one of my friends, and I joined their call, and they were like introducing. He's like, "Oh, you're the guy with the cat ears, right?" It's more than Fanshawe. It's spreading. It's terrifying. I had someone, the Valorant scrim server where we book things, it's called Hangouts. Someone literally, I woke up one morning to like 6 mentions, and it's because someone I know from the community changed their server profile to me and Cat Ears and changed the name to Cat Voice and was spamming me with it. I'm not kidding. It happened.
Oh, Apollo.
Correct, if you're watching this, I hate you.
We gotta end this segment on that.
No. Apollo, can you please make this interview called Interview with Cat Boys?
No.
Put the kibosh on it. Okay.
He's like, absolutely not. Well, you know what? Well, NFT talk, a little bit of Twitter talk, and the Boyc emoji run. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. I'm not letting us get into any more tangents. We're not going to listen to any more Discord tea around the Boyc stickers. But join us for Top 10s after this. Thank you for joining us for not just another interview on the Fuel Report, but the final interview of this season. Thank you for joining us for this interview and every interview before it. Thanks to my co-host, Mins, Nightflash. Thanks you, boys, for joining us. Little shout out to all our other interview guests throughout the year. Our fill-in, Mr. Reader, who made a couple appearances as well. And on that note, it's Top 10 time. We'll see you in the next segment of the Fuel Report. Welcome back to another segment of the Fuel Report. My goodness, what a treat in the season finale to get not one, but 2 interviews. And wow, this show's been trucking along for quite a while now. That Boyc one was a bit of a marathon, and so too is your season finale. And what would be a season finale of the Fuel Report if we didn't have some sort of top 10, and in this week's case, top 5 action? So we're going to roll on into the CJ's final top 5 plays of the week, and ultimately, you know, we're running out of games. It's going to be R6 all the way. And we're going to kick things off with a Brendo. Quick peek here. He's going to get the job done at lightning speed in their semifinal game against Arcadia. Rolling into number 4, you're going to see a team captain Perza just go to work. It's a 2v4 situation, and he's going to find a couple along the way here to make sure the Fuel find a round win in a close 4-4 game. That's a triple for Perza there. That's huge. Coming in at our next clip, it's Brendo again. He's going to find a 2K here, and it's going to be timely because that's going to deny the Arcadia bomb plant attempt here. Great timing. He's going to get 3 on the round in total. Coming in at number 2, you know, Brendo can get a 3K, so too can I, and it's going to be Make It. Hunting the triple kill down. He's the second one right there. And then he's going to roam into a third one here after as well. And there's the triple kill. Just missed the first one there. And you know what? Have you had enough triple kill R6 action? Because we got a little bit more for you. It's Mason lit, and it's going to be yet another 3K. He's going to find the first. He's going to find the second as well and make it 3. Quick succession, 3 kill there for Mason, and that was absolutely huge. You know what? Those kills
big kills and big moments, but ultimately it was just tough ending for that R6 season. But, they get a final week of top fives to look at least.
Yeah, it's so sad to see that. I mean, like, it was so great though to see all like those great triple kills that went down. I mean, Make It, he really was proving how like well he was playing in those few rounds. And I mean, kudos to them and good luck for kind of the rest of their whole season that they keep moving on to.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we move out of CJ's top 10s into our goodbyes, I just want to note play of the year voting is still open. Feel free to go watch some Fuel reports, hop into that top 10 section and clip something, submit it to us. The award will be announced at the Fuel Awards show next Saturday at the normal time, 6 p.m., and it's going to be a great one. As we move into goodbyes, initially we were going to sort of talk about this tournament we got coming up in Fuel because, we just ran the Apex tournament. We talked about that, and we're going to fit it back then. You know what? It wasn't in the final week in Fuel. It's sort of looking forward now into the future, and that's going to be this fusion format Super Sonic Cup inspired by the Gamers 8 LAN event in Saudi Arabia. It'll be a blend of 3v3, 2v2, and 1v1 games in a best of 5 matchup. And you know what? We talked about it earlier. I had so much fun running that Apex event, and you can't go wrong with Rocket League.
No, you really can. It's always action packed. Rocket League is one of those games for me, anyways. It's super fun to watch. I'm terrible at it though. I can't play it, but watching Rocket League and watching how mechanically skilled and gifted these players are, it's just kind of insane to me. So I'm looking forward to that. And you really don't get to see 1v1s on the main stage that often. It's usually the 3v3s, even there's some 2v2s. But you really never get to see 1v1s like sort of broadcast. So I'm super pumped for this event, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun indeed. And apparently there's something they're also doing where if like teams that came in 2s and solo queuers, they'll also be paired into teams of 3 for 3v3 events. So I think that'll be interesting. I know like all Fuel events, you're going to need an alumni or a current player on your team to play. You can't have more than 2 Rocket League current players on a team. And for me, you just got to wonder, Rusty G, team captain, multi-team player, frequent participant in events, T2 Rocket League captain. You got to wonder if he sees this tournament, he might be licking his chops a little bit at some more glory on the tournament stage. That's all I can wonder.
Yeah, I think Rusty's definitely going to be signing up for this. I think Leopard as well, team captain for T1 Rocket League. He's going to be in on this. He's probably going to try and get the T1 boys in on this. So Van Rys, Space are probably going to be joining too. It's going to be an absolute brawl out there. I know there's going to be some lower elo players, and I'm going to just be interested to see how the strats work with them, if they're going to be setting them up or if it's going to be, hey, you know what? Let me and whoever handle the goal scoring. You just focus on bumps and demos. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun.
I would love to have Space on my team. Honestly, if I was in it, I would clearly go straight to him. I feel like he's just a good all-around player that likes to kind of. I mean, he was always kind of just like a flexing sort of around to each sort of team back then, even in the other semesters. So I think he would be such a great player now.
He can literally do everything.
Oh,
he had crazy saves this season, crazy passes, crazy across the entire field, aerial, double touch off the ceiling, flip, reset. Like, he can do it all.
I'm saying I think I'm taking if I'm playing, I think I'm registering with Sustain. That guy is gross at Rocket League. I'm sure a lot of people know this. A lot of people also might not. He played on our Rocket League T1 team for a while, and he's currently still in SSL. So don't sleep on some Val players or some COD players. I know some COD players who are also pretty high up there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think that's pretty much all we have coming up. No?
Yeah, we got to note the date of this event, though, if we're going to talk about it. Saturday, May 13th at 6 p.m. That seems to be the Fuel sweet spot for recording things, bringing shows out, whatever you want to come and see. And you know what? I think I am going to try and compete in this event as well, as just like Apex, where I might not be the best Apex player. I know some good Apex players. And just because I might be an atrocious Rocket League player doesn't mean I don't know some amazing Rocket League players. So it might be fun. And, I'm all about supporting the people around me to get better at what they do. And having to carry me through a tournament is going to help them accomplish that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. That's going to be a wrap on not only on this Fuel Report, but on the season. I personally would like to thank everybody who has watched us. We've got loyal viewers, we have first-time viewers. It's been super fun. I'd also like to thank Apollo, Mins, CJ. This was kind of their project, and they let me in on it. So thanks for that. I hope it was as fun for you guys as it was for me. But yeah, it's been fun.
Honestly, it's been great. It's been kind of quite the ride to get this sort of up and going. I know at the start we were talking like a lot about it, and then we were kind of like hitting points like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try this, are we gonna do this, are we gonna figure this out? And then I think all of a sudden we're like, boom, here's an algorithm, we're just gonna figure this out. We put a time down and we just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, you are still gonna see us still a little bit more. Hey there, CJ.
Yeah, that's the hope. I think you might perhaps, nothing is ever set in stone in life, and you never know you're walking down a path until you're walking down it. But you'll be curious. I'm curious. Everyone here is curious to see who will be a part of the Fuel Report next year. Fresh season, fresh ideas, refinement on what we've been doing here. And you know what? It's nice, on the esports scene in general, to just see students pump out a show for a semester, week in and week out. We hit that consistency mark. We hit that content mark. Like, holy moly smokes, like we're over 3 hours on this stream here today. That's some consistency. And we only had one game this past week. You know what I mean? So I just want to say great working with everybody, depending on who comes back, who doesn't come back. Great work from Apollo. It was a joy. It was a pleasure. You don't get, and that's what a lot of people say, Fanshawe, the student union. I'll say this about Fanshawe as well. You get the opportunity to do things which you just would not have gotten to do elsewhere. You get to be, as Tyler would say, activated, where you can pursue ideas. You can sort of push yourself to do a little more, take that extra step. It helps Fuel. It helps our careers, and it's great for everything. It's a great experience to do in general. So for me, enjoyed the viewers' presence, enjoyed making it with the guys, and it was a great experience in general.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're still gonna catch us though next week, eh?
Yeah, no, don't miss that. That's gonna be absolutely wicked. So I don't even know if I can call it an episode. It's gonna be a wicked show though. We've got some more stuff up our sleeve, so to speak. So definitely stay tuned for that. But from
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. on the 6th. No?
Yep. And you know what? Voting's still open. We're going to send something out Monday again. Just get those reminders out. Voting is still open. Mention you can vote for your top play. Well, you can vote for absolutely everything still. And you know what? The Fuel Awards show. It's going to be a fun time. Come on down and join us. See who won what. It's going to be a great time, and I hope it's the first of many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From all of us here at Fanshawe Fuel, I'd like to not even thank you guys just for supporting the Fuel Report. Thanks for supporting all our streams. You guys are really the reason that we all do this. Obviously it's great to work in esports, but sort of the community building aspect of it is awesome too. It's great to see how many people's lives that we've sort of touched and what we get to do and all that. And I'd like to thank all of you for the very last time this season. We'll see you guys later.